I can back them up. Boom. End of story. There is no other crypto out there. So don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're going to pay the consequences for that. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. We're obliterating everybody. Literally. There is nobody else that comes close to what Hex has done. Boom. Oh, it's about to get funky. Funkier than you could have ever imagined. You know, Richard Hart is a boss. Hex is literally the best thing on the planet. It's simple mathematics. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Like yeah,
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all deep. Everybody. My God. Ex-Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets it. Yo, when is it told you? Dollar told you. Everybody done told you. It's crazy. Boom.
Hey.
What up, everybody?
What's up?
IWTBF.
We about to tell them again.
I made that intro video. Just so you know.
Just so everybody knows.
Remarkable made this. Or proof of beard
that's
only.
That's a good one, bro. That's a real good one, right?
Because
it's real basic. It tells you exactly what the whole point is. Right? Just stake it, man.
We fixing to tell you again. Because that's what we do.
We're gonna remind you. we're gonna elaborate upon that 1 minute.
Remarkable done told you, man.
Everybody done told you. Everybody.
Love it.
Give me a second, guys. I'm still dealing with work crap.
Yeah, no worries.
So this stream specifically is going to be very descriptive of Hex and what it does, because there was some confusion today in the Twitter sphere with regards to one of my charts and what they do and what it means or whatever. And it's just simply, you know, people are confusing what that metric is supposed to mean versus what they're thinking, right? What Hex does is not a function of that actual metric that is being shown on that chart. Interestingly enough, that metric is a representation of the value in the system based on what the system does, right? And we're going to get into that. We're going to break all that down because it sounds good from far away, but what the hell exactly am I saying? I thought it was, you know, clear cut, but it's not, because people are confusing yield with price to earnings ratio, which is just a multiple of what the earnings could be, right? But in reality, Hex doesn't provide any earnings, right? It's just something that actually provides a yield. Like it actually provides economic benefit. And when you look at the definition of price to earnings, which we are going to read through, like we're going to go through this step by step. Like I want people to understand exactly what I'm seeing and what I'm saying, because that's the whole point of me taking my time. It's not just so I can look cool. I don't give a fuck about looking cool. I don't need to do this shit. So, you know,
take notes if you gotta.
Yeah, I want to point something out as well. On Twitter, what's this guy's name? Cashew Bacon. Okay, I didn't even see his name.
Is only up as his Twitter handle.
Oh yeah, okay. Anyway, he at some point dropped the name Furus on us both because we were pointing something out on the P and E ratio. And then just to make sure that I make my point that that's definitely not true. Right away, I sent Wells a message, double checking again if everything was correct in the chart, and then we spent about an hour talking in a green room, figuring out why it's right and why it's correct, and why I got confused again. And so we're constantly double checking, and everyone is allowed to doubt us if you have other information that actually checks out, and then we're gonna check it out and see what happens. We're not here to make sure everyone follows our
And,
opinion. We're here that everyone understands facts and
yeah,
see
and
double check if everything is a real fact or not.
let's say, you know, everybody's human, right? Anybody is capable of making a mistake, right?
Correct.
I think everybody here is open to learning and to admitting when they're wrong. You know, furus, you know, especially the ones that we talk about, know that they're wrong, intentionally try to hurt their followers. You know, who even if a chart was wrong, like who was hurt by it, right? At the end of the day, like,
Got
come on, it's
interference on
not the
your
same
side,
as.
Wendy. We got interference on your side, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Let me
it's like
see.
No,
chopping up.
it's good.
Oh, then it might be
You're
me.
right.
Hold on.
No.
Might be me. Give me a second.
But yeah, like, so, you know, what I'm saying is like I've been in the chat rooms. I get messages, you know, from you know, people that are doing like plots on, you know, crypto Twitter to, you know, manipulate tokens, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, those are furus, you know, like there's no money here, there's no real incentive here. Like everybody here is like donating our time to, you know, to help, you know, people out and to help people understand hex better. So, you know, I don't see that at all, but you
We're
know,
doing a
it
lot
is
of
what it
work
is.
here.
People are going to say, yeah, people are going to say what they want to say at the end of the day. And, you know, I don't let that kind of stuff bother me, but like, you know, check yourself for real.
Yeah, I think people confuse my position. I think people think I'm telling them, what I think is right, and what I think is right is what matters, and all this nonsense. No, no, no. People have to understand that when I first came on the scene, my objective was to help people understand what crypto was, because I could tell clearly they did not understand it. Nobody understood what they owned when I showed up, and that was my objective, to help people understand, right? But it also took me to learn the entirety of the system in order to be able to help people really understand what I already saw, right? So it's a give and take, right? What I see isn't always going to be what you see, and what you see isn't always going to be what I see. So this is an ever evolving conversation. A lot of the charts that I create don't even come from me, right? Like, they come from conversations I have with other people that makes me think of something. And then I'm like, oh, okay, let me drum that up. Maybe that's a good chart idea. Maybe it's not. That's the whole thing, right? We're here just trying to share information. I'm nobody important. Nobody is more important than anybody else. Like, it's important people understand that, because people come at me like if I'm some, like, I'm not Richard Hart, yo. I don't give a fuck what you think or say. It's not my business. So don't get it confused. I don't need no fucking fans. I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. Actually, could care less. But you need to listen to what the fuck I got to share, because it's gonna benefit your pocket. And if you don't want to, that's your own problem, not mine. I could care less, because the chart speaks for itself. Because all I'm doing is relaying what the chart is saying. Because when I showed up in Hex, nobody understood what the fuck was going on. Nobody. That's the only reason I did what I did. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be here, because I could care less. I understand what the fuck is going on. I'm fully
Yeah. And
fucking aware.
I think like the, you know, the more that people understand the product,
The better off
the
we all are.
yeah, yeah,
It's a
because the easier
no-brainer.
it is to hold. Yeah, the easier it is to
Yeah,
hold when people are fudding, when people are saying whatever, like you see it as an opportunity because you know what you're holding.
correct.
You're also able to like onboard people easier because you fully understand what's going on.
It's a benefit to
So
us all,
exactly,
right? Like, it's
exactly.
not for me. I don't care. I don't need to be here doing anything. Like, we are here to share information because we all benefit from that information. That is all. Like, that shit needs to be clear. People is sitting here thinking somebody's a big dog and all this bullshit. Ain't nobody bigger than anybody. We're all on the same fucking page here, because we're all trying to accomplish the same goal. I don't know where the fuck people get off thinking there's anything different going on here. There's not. So pull your head out of your fucking ass, respect yourself and respect others, because ain't nobody here telling you what to do or what to think. We're sharing information. That is all. And
And our
John
time.
Wick, thank you for the super chat, brother. You are crazy with these big numbers, man. This is crazy.
Let's go. I read that as 50, but now
Yeah,
that you pulled it
no.
up, it was 5.
This is ridiculous,
Them
man.
5
What's wrong?
hundos.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. You know where that's going. Straight into Hex.
Going into that black
Hex.
hole.
Yeah, straight into the black hole,
I have
baby.
this new doggy coin that you might be interested in.
Oh,
You can just put $500 in it, and maybe it goes 2x.
oh, wow.
Mm.
We can talk about that later.
That's appetizing.
Don't want to lose my alpha. We can talk about it.
Don't want to lose my alpha. Yeah, so right, and that's the whole thing. We're all on here, right, trying to do the same thing. Nobody here is more important than anybody, not whales, not anybody. So people, get that shit through your thick skulls. Like, we're here to share information that we're all gonna benefit from.
Yep.
That's it. Like, read this damn message on the. I'm grateful to be living in this time in human history where we can all relate to one another across the globe in real time about a digital intangible asset. That's profound. There's so much going on in that one sentence.
Yep. Our community is amazing.
10 years ago, we could not do this, really, with this ease.
Right.
In a conjoined fashion. Like, there's no way. Like, I could at least have 10 people join me right now from all over the globe. We couldn't do this before. So people need to understand this is a new world, right? Like, this is a completely new world. So
yep. And we can invest in the same thing. Whereas, like, you know, it was very hard with people across the globe to like invest in the same assets. You know, you're separated by different, you know, brokerages and stock markets and all this kind of stuff. Like, you know, it don't matter where you're at, you know, like you could be buying all across the globe the same thing.
So check it out, because interestingly enough, at work, that's literally part of. I work literally in the offshore sector of Wall Street. So everything I interact with. Thank you for the super chat, Cash Plus. Appreciate it, brother. Look, you guys are crazy today. Appreciate the
Big
super
numbers.
chats, though. Crazy. Appreciate the super chats. And again, we're just here to share information, right? So on Wall Street, what I do is literally specific to what Wendy's just fucking said. If you live outside of the U.S., no matter where you live, you are subject to different rules. So you can't just open an account here just because you feel like. If you live in the UK, for example, you cannot open an account here. If you live in Germany, you cannot open an account here unless you meet specific rules and guidelines and regulations. If you live in Thailand, you cannot open an account here. You got to be super fucking rich. Period. A regular Joe Schmo isn't doing it. Right? And these are things the average person isn't going to know. Why would you? Why do you give a fuck about that? You have no reason to.
Right.
But these are the kind of things that I know, which helps me understand exactly what's going on that you cannot understand. And this is the kind of information I'm here to share, because we all benefit from fucking knowing this shit, not just me. What good does it do me if you don't know what's really going on? It does me no good, because I'm just living in my own world. And the reality is that this world is big as fuck, and we're all in it. So it behooves us to stop acting like dumbasses and come together and progress together, because there's no other way to do it. I mean, if Hex hasn't taught you that, then I don't understand where the hell you've been. You're clearly
it's the
not
true
paying
power
attention.
of you know, it's the true power of crypto and community, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like these, you know, borders, they're inconsequential when it comes to crypto and when it comes to our community, right? Like you see, you know, like, you know, I'm going to London, right? I'm going to meet all kinds of Hexicans from all across the globe out there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. I'll be seeing you over there.
Dope.
So, you know, it's amazing, you know, like how the community comes together and stuff like this. And it is unprecedented, even in, you know, 2021, you know, before crypto really took off. Like that was not something that existed.
Nope.
Right.
No,
like,
I mean, show me a Bitcoin community, I'll wait.
Yep.
Show me an Ethereum community, I'll wait.
And what about stocks, right? Like there's no stock
Non-existent.
community. Yeah,
No.
it's not. Yeah, it's not a thing. So, you know, the crazy things that we've seen in our community, donations, you know, for people's like family
Yo,
members that have died.
people just gave me $600 for no reason.
True.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm 1/3 of this stream, so I
Okay, people
He's
gave me
like,
two
"Cut me
hundred
in."
dollars for no reason. Right? Like, what's going
Yep.
on? Like, people got to understand what's happening here. Right? This is a point in time where you make your own market. Literally. You
Yeah.
make your own market.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. That's what every streamer has done. That's what everybody on Twitter has done. That's what social media is for. Literally. That's it.
Absolutely. That's great. Yeah. It's
I
you know,
mean,
social consensus, like
I
we've said
didn't
many times.
exist.
And
Right? Like, I didn't exist. Hex didn't exist until we all decided, yeah, that should exist. If I made one stream and nobody ever watched me again, would I could have continued streaming? No. I would have had zero incentive to continue. I could have just went about my merry way, and that would have been that. No love lost. But instead,
mm-hmm.
things went a different route. So I continued to stream. I continue to try to add value. Nobody here is better than me, and I'm no better than anybody. We all serve our purposes, and that is all. Right? If your purpose is to talk shit to other fucking people on Twitter, then thank you, because I don't have the time to do it like that. But it's a fact,
Yep.
right? Like,
Yep.
we're all here to just succeed in life, bro. Nobody is here to do anything else. I don't know. That's all I'm here for. I don't think you're doing anything any different. I don't know. Are you? Like, why are we here?
You
Right?
also have
Like, I'm here
the
just,
you know, the modern day aspect of clout chasing, which you know,
well,
they
I
might
I
see,
should
suppose.
oh,
change my name
you
again.
got, yeah, you got you know, X amount of viewers or X amount of followers, you know, so if I can poke a hole in what you said, if I can try to make you look stupid, then
Mhm.
maybe I can poach some of your followers, because people care
Yeah.
about that stupid shit, you know.
I
Like
guess, man. I guess,
it's
man. I
crazy.
can't
It's
relate.
crazy.
I can't relate.
I
I
mean, I'm the
honestly
same
can't.
way. Like, you know, like it's just, it doesn't
I
matter. Like the
feel
only
you.
reason I do this is because I'm trying to grow hex adoption, not, you know,
Correct. Like, when I
not my
realized,
own.
like, dude, when I realized, and thank you, Balia, for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. You
No,
were there on day one. Him and Hexadente. A lot of guys were there on day one that I remember, and girls actually, that I remember. Because I had never done that before. I had
Wills,
never streamed. What up?
notice that he did a super chat that is dividable by 3.
Three? Yeah.
Thank you, Belly Man, for thinking about the beard.
I'll be sure to get your Venmos, gentlemen, after the stream.
And now I'll shut up.
Yeah. I was wondering what was so important that you had to interrupt me twice, because I wasn't looking.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh, but you see, it's not that hard. We're just here to have a good time.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but this shit is funny.
Oh man, Cryptomatic, what's up?
What's up, Cryptomatic? Hey man, you can join if you want. I forget that you just like be chilling at home and shit. Hold
Yeah,
on.
we need him spinning in the background, you know.
Word, we need some chill music in the background. Oh damn, he DM me too. Hold on, let me get the link stream. But yeah, I mean, we're all here to serve a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yep.
and that, that's all we need to worry about. Like, playing our roles, man. Everybody has their role. You know, and that's it. You know, nobody is here to do more than anybody else. Everybody here is to do their thing, and that's it. Oh, we got another dollar, baby.
Throw them bones.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and this is basically how I feel about it. To me, Hex is something that allows me to not just help myself, but it allows me to help my fellow man, and it allows my fellow man to help me, because I provide value and they provide value in return, and however which way it happens. And that's the way it's
Yep.
been for me so far. When I went to Vegas, it was some life altering shit for me, because I had never experienced that kind of energy in my life. Period.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of positive energy. I mean, sometimes we focus on the negative stuff, but there's a whole lot of positive energy in Hex. There's people doing really good things. There was money donated yesterday, to charity, by some Hexicans. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on, right? So, Hex Merch was doing a, St. Jude shirt, and there's a lot of good stuff that the Hexicans are doing. So yeah, it's good to especially focus, especially this time of year, right? Like focus on the good, focus on
Right.
I read
the
this one as well,
community.
Wills. This
This is really good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because it's exactly what. That's why I was so livid towards the end. I couldn't believe this guy could fix his mouth to say the things he was saying. Like he didn't even know how Ethereum worked. What in the fuck are you even? Why are you even still talking to us, bro? Get out of here.
I mean, really, we shouldn't even give him a platform. The guy has like 15 followers. Like, who the hell are you?
I
And
Oh
then,
yeah,
and then the
on stream, Das Baum gave him a chance for a third round, and then in Green Room we said we're not getting that guy a third round. There's no way.
yeah, no,
it doesn't make sense. I mean,
no.
his arguments were absolute garbage, and it's like it's clear. Okay, like so, if you're gonna say the opposite of like our stance, like where is the fruit from your tree? Like where is your money? You're telling me you understand how money works, how currency works, but you clearly don't have any. you know,
Or
like
understand
you're
it
gonna yeah, or understand it at all. Like,
at
come
all.
on, like it's all about like what we were talking about yesterday with like you think you're smart, but where's the fruit on your tree?
Correct.
Like you ain't got none.
Like
None at
you
And if
all.
think
you
you
had some, it
understand?
rotted and fell to the ground. because
Yeah.
because he's talking about like oh I think this, I think this. Well, when are you going to sign when you're wrong?
No
I don't
words.
know.
Nothing.
No
Yeah.
words.
Crickets.
No
So
words.
he's the kind of guy that said Bitcoin was a Ponzi at $1
Yup.
and it's $65,000, and he's like, well, I mean, it hasn't lasted 20 years. Like, what? You're just gonna wait your whole life away? You're never gonna sign when you're wrong. Like people
No, he's
like
gonna
that are
wait
not worth
until
your
it
time.
globally dominates and he can actually
Yeah,
not even afford a sat. So
exactly. Like it literally doesn't make sense because those kind of people are not worth your time because they're incapable of assigning like the percentage that they're wrong, and they're incapable of learning. And it was clear when you're talking to this guy that he was incapable of taking anything, or saying, okay, I was wrong about this. Like, yeah, don't be like Bo.
yeah, at all.
That's why
Yeah.
I asked him first if he understands basic economics, because the moment he
Oh, it was
then
clear
goes
he
off
didn't.
and talks um, about stuff that goes against basic economics, then you already know it's a lost cause. Like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
go
Yeah, that's
away.
why I mean, dude, when you shut him down, I clearly understood I was wasting my time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wow, I can't believe I didn't see that.
So
Even
that's
Muscable
why
saw it.
that's why we're not going to talk about him anymore. Let's talk
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
P
yeah.
and E ratio.
That was funny. That was funny though. Yeah, let's get to work, guys. Let's get to
Let's
work.
get
All
to
right.
business.
So let's share this chart or this screen. Let's get to the good stuff here. Oops, wrong one. Not the interesting one by any means. I don't know why it keeps doing that. All right. Okay. So as you guys can see, Bitcoin is doing what it does. Good job. Ethereum following suit. Good job. Hex just chilling. Good job. However, the trend is bearish, right? So we shall see if the market does continue to support. Let's see if we actually get anything from this data set. Let's see. I don't think we actually will. But let's try. Nope. Sometimes it sure works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you gotta look away. That just doesn't make any sense in order to see anything. There we go. Alrighty. So let me try that instead. Yeah, nah, more is better. All right. So yeah, basically Hex should hang around here. And the reason being is because you have a lot of activity occurring around these price ranges, which is what you see uh, in this area. That's why it has a belly here, basically, right? And
That
this is
volume
what we've
token.
seen. Yeah, this is called the high volume node, basically. And this red line. Give me a second, guys. Jesus Christ.
He's getting arrested so many times.
It's nonstop, man. It's nonstop.
They're looking for him.
Yeah, it's nonstop.
Still can't find Wells.
And this red line is basically it's called the point of control, volume point of control, and this is why price is having such a damn time getting around it, right? As you guys see, it was resistance and now it's support. Price just keeps traveling around here, and this is an area of opportunity, right? If you can get price down here, good luck to you. But as you can see, odds of that happening are very slim given the belly that we have here. And this is just a statistical distribution of price, right? In volume, but across price instead of time, right? Like this is volume across time. This is volume across price. So this is the difference. And this is why it changes with the framing of the chart, right? So you see the actual activity as price progressed, right? Up to down, right? And then you can just focus on the down, right? And see what actually has been happening. So you can see you got some nice sellers up here, right? Because they're throwing some volume out there, right? And you can see it in the chart, right? But you got some buying down here, right? Because this is a sign of buying. Otherwise, it wouldn't be down here, right? So you don't really have to guess. The orange, let me see, because I don't really remember. I
So
think it's
the more that chart goes to the left,
yeah.
the more that chart peaks, the shows more of a
The more
support
data,
or resistance.
yeah, the more data you get from the chart.
Yeah.
The more data you get from the chart in terms of statistical distributions for volume across price. So this is how you get real support resistance,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Not just from a chart. This is actual price trading activity.
That's dope.
Yeah. So this is why people, when they look at support and resistance, they think it's a specific price. No, it's a range.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
range. So that's why a lot of people get wrecked. They learn the wrong things and stuff.
Yeah.
My man Thaschild just showed up. Let's see. Let me know when you're ready, bro. I think I can see the screen there. Something in the background. So throw your avatar up. No faces required here. So yeah,
I don't have a face.
just a statistical distribution.
I only have a
What's up,
beard.
homie?
I mean, and that's why like ranges are good to look at, because like a lot of times you'll draw a line and it'll trade under, it'll trade under a moving average. It'll trade under a line. So it looks like it broke, but it'll fake you out. Right. And
Right.
so, volume is traded there and then it breaks back above, and traders get wrecked all the time from stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, gentlemen? Hey. Yo, Markable, man.
Yo.
Nice to virtually meet you for the first time, sir.
For sure, man. For sure.
Big fan.
Thank you.
See, Markable, you didn't even know.
I actually have fans. Yeah.
Yeah. We all
Just a
got
beard.
fans, bro. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's
We
funny.
should.
When I
And
was
we should.
at the HEX meetup in Zurich, people went up to me and said they were thanking me and just saying that they liked the streams. And I was like, I have no idea who you are. But you
Exactly.
listened for hours to me, and that's dope.
Well, that's
Yeah,
that's
very
because
cool.
it's not the type of fan you think there, buddy. No, I'm just fucking with you. How you gentlemen doing though? What's the wire? You getting into the what are you getting into? Price to earnings, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to discuss that in detail. We're just going over what exactly is going on this chart here currently with respect to price activity and how we can identify support and resistance in real time, right? Just by looking at this type of chart. What is this? Which is just a distribution of volume across price. That's all that this thing over here on the right side, that's all this is showing.
You're reading my mind then. Okay, very good.
Yeah. So this is, if you understand like histograms and just basic statistical stuff, like this isn't going to be hard for you to learn. This is very basic. Like if you look left to right where the humps are, right, the bellies,
Yes.
you'll see that a lot of trading happened there, and that's all, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all that this is showing.
A lot of action, a lot of action in there.
Correct. And this is just showing that the price is controlled for this chart, which is typically a magnet. And man, if we ever got back down to that level, hey,
I will sell my parents' house.
yeah, I will sell things I don't own and go to jail and be all right. Yep. Because these gonna be gone.
I'll be like, kids, we're camping out this month,
Yeah.
Yep.
year.
Year. Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, could you imagine? Oh my god.
Yeah, hard enough as it is.
Jeez.
I would get a loan at the banks and then force my entire family to do the same, and then give me all that money.
Everybody getting some hex, whether they want it or not.
That's why it won't happen, because just too many people would go crazy,
exactly.
sell their cars.
The moment these kinds of sayings come out of people's mouths, like I will sell everything and buy, then you know that price will never go there.
Yep.
Basically.
It never gives you that chance, No.
And
that's like maximum greed, the greed spot.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine? Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't even buy a lot at that price. I really did a lot of my buying.
Yeah, it would be a generational wealth kind of situation. But
Again, right. Damn. All right, let's move on, because this is just making my heart hurt. It's not fun. It's not fun, because man, if only I could go back, right? It feels like no matter what, no matter how much hex you got, it's just not enough.
Yep.
And once you come to fully understand the system, that's gonna be exactly how you feel. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, so let's go to this chart. We're talking about the price to earnings. All right. So this chart is literally the T share, the payout per T share inverted. Literally. That's all that this line is. Okay. Now let me show you. We're going to take this value and put a 1 over it. And it should be that number, right? I just told you it's the same thing.
1 over 5.84.
Boom. Okay. So we get that. That's all that we're looking at here. 1 over the payout per T share. And we're going to go into why this is the number that makes sense for Hex, right? And the confusion that we're seeing on Twitter is that people think that the yield is the same thing, just like this clown thought the yield was the same thing yesterday. And I understand why that could be confusing if you don't actually understand what this number is saying. So we're going to go over the exact definition and how Wall Street looks at this number so people can get an understanding, because I thought I was doing a good job of explaining it, but clearly not. So let's rectify that issue for the community and, let everybody understand how they're going to be rich as fuck, because that's what it's about, right? It's not about anything else, at least not for me. Because I really want people to understand that the best move is delaying gratification, because it really is. Even if it's for 6 months, right? You got to give the system time to do the work for you, because you could get so much hex and it can perform so well that it's in your best interest to actually just do that, right? And this chart is going to tell us why, right? And this is all that this chart is doing. So let's get to it. So price to earnings, right? Very straightforward. Price to earnings ratio is the ratio for valuing a company that measures its current share price, okay? Current stock price, it's another word for that, to its earnings per share. Now, the price to earnings per share ratio is also known as the price multiple or the earnings multiple. Now, that's important, because this lets us know that we're not actually calculating anything tangible, right? Which is critical to understand. This number is a multiple of some sort, letting us know that we're paying a multiple of something, right? But what is that thing? Well, in this case, that thing is earnings per share. Now, what are earnings per share? Well, in plain English, they're just an accounting number. That is all. They're not a tangible representation of anything any entity is actually doing, right? And this is why, like, it's important to understand that, because it gets confusing if you don't, right? Because you're then confusing the earnings, right, with the yield, right? Earnings per share is an intangible value that is only produced on accounting books. That is it. By GAAP accounting rules. It's not a real number at all. Like, that is not real. That's just something on paper. People need to understand that.
Yeah, so the E in this formula is basically a made-up number by accounting.
Correct. That's it.
Yes.
That is all. It's just made up number by the GAAP accounting rules that we have to subject ourselves to based on the system. And that's it.
And that's not the same as yield.
Correct. The yield is something that the system is actually generating. It's tangible because we can account for it, right? And we know those numbers for HEX, right? For 1 year, it's like 11%, 12%, right? Because we see every day what it's printing. So we can annualize that, right? Simple.
Yes.
And that's the difference, right? You got earnings per share, and we're going to get to earnings per share. So let's just keep reading. Price to earnings ratios are used by investors and analysts to determine the relative value of a company's shares in an apples to apples comparison. So what I'm doing as an analyst is helping you understand the true value in HEX by helping you see how cheap it is, right? 17% versus the all-time low of 5.51 for the S&P 500 earnings ratio. Price to earnings ratio, like, I mean, 17%, 551%.
Yep. Crazy.
17%, 551.
And like truthfully, if you've ever used HEX, you should know that, because I mean, if you hold any stock, right, you know that like how much you make versus how much you make in HEX, it's not even comparable. So
no,
like,
it's not.
Especially if you care about like being paid per unit of measurement. Like there's no game like HEX.
Correct. There isn't.
Let's continue with the formula.
Right. So let's go back to the formula, or to the definition.
Yeah.
So what I'm showing you then again is how cheap HEX is versus everything else that's ever existed. Simple. That's what I'm showing you with that chart, right? So this is what this paragraph just said. Now, price to earnings may be estimated on a trailing, backward looking, or forward projected basis. Now we're going to get into earnings per share and how that number is being reflected on the actual valuation of a stock when we're looking at it, right? This is now what we're going to get to. Okay. Give me a second, guys, because I am double dipping today while working.
Grandma's making the gravy.
Yeah, right. I wish. All right. Let me just clear. I'm almost done here. Yes. Yo, the emails is non-stop. It's like it's not holiday season.
I think it's so funny that you're doing all this while you're working. Like most people can't even keep up with their own work, and you're basically doing two jobs at the same time.
And Mark, what the funny thing is he tells them to get fucked. If it's a draw, he'll be like, "Oh, this motherfucker, hold on."
Yeah.
The thing is,
it's another thing. He's doing this, and he's doing that job, and he is just constantly just chilling and watching Telemundo.
Word, let me put the volume down so I can't listen to the music.
I bring it up a lot. I'm like, how does this motherfucker relax? Like, how does he like chill out, man? Like, I don't think he does.
You can hear it. He listens every few minutes.
He listens to the nice sound of police sirens.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you hear goal.
I wish, bro. I don't even like soccer.
Yeah.
I've tried to watch it, but I just can't get into it.
Oh, I was addicted for a long time.
Yeah, I don't like. I get the, I get the, like, I don't get me wrong. I'm a runner, so I know the game is difficult. Like, I run 12 miles. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand. Like, the shit is not easy,
No.
but it's just the aspect of the game. Like, you're just kicking the ball into a net. Like, I know it's hard. Don't get me wrong, but there's like more skills involved in playing baseball in my mind because I played baseball growing up. More skills in football, right? Like, you got to use your hands and feet, not just your feet. Like, I get the relative difficulty of just using your hands. Again, I get it because I'm not a soccer player. You know, I can't sit here and, like, I respect the sport.
Those were my two sports coming up, was baseball and soccer.
Yeah, mine were baseball and football. So it's probably a lack of playing that doesn't help me really get it.
My sport is t-shirt collection.
But what was it back in your younger days, Markable? Now what? You were probably at the computer programming or making.
Dude, I am in my younger years.
Okay. I'm an old man. That's cool. Yeah. Hey, Wales, you were bringing it up though when you were talking about the reactions that people are having to that thing. You were pointing out that it was amazing that people weren't asking more questions.
Yeah.
When you had 20-year-old soccer players, right, dropping dead. Yeah, just dropping dead.
Collapsing. That's another day on the block.
Okay, let's get back to P&E.
All right. So price to earnings, right, also relates to a company's share price, right? It's to its earnings per share. Now, again, it's important to remember the earnings per share is an intangible value. It's not something you're actually holding in your hand ever, right? The payout per T share actually is something tangible, and the system is producing it daily, and it's acting in accordance with that. And that's what the P ratio is showing us for HEX. This is why it doubles so much. And we're going to get to that. Like, this is all part of the explanation, interestingly enough. So let's see here. A higher P ratio could mean the company's stock is overvalued, or else that investors are expecting high growth rates in the future. Well, it's never really the latter. I'll tell you guys that much. Companies that have no earnings or that are losing money do not have, obviously, because they have no earnings to put down in the books. Two kinds of P ratios, forward and trailing. We're going to get to that right now. Let's see here. So this is the formula, right? And this is what gets people confused.
Yeah.
Because people know there's a price for a stock, but they're like, how the hell are you looking at it 1 over HEX? That makes or 1 over the payout per T share. That makes no sense. And it's actually simple, right? Because people aren't taking into account that we're looking at a systemic valuation. So we're looking at the value of the system itself, not the price of the system in dollar terms. We don't care about that. We want to understand what the system is actually doing, right?
Yeah.
And the system is actually producing value at this rate constantly, which is 17%, right? 17% of what, though? And that's what we're trying to get to. What does that 17% mean? And this is what's confusing for a lot of people, because a lot of people think that this 17% is some type of return or something, and it's not. It's merely a measure across time, and we're going to get to that. So we got the market value per share, right? Now, what's the market value of a crypto per crypto?
It's just the coin price.
Yeah, it's just itself. It's one.
Yeah, the coin, yeah.
It's one, right? When you're talking about Bitcoin, what are you talking about? Bitcoin. When you're talking about ETH,
Bitcoin.
what are you talking about? ETH. Not talking about anything else. So this is why we look at it 1 over the payout per T share. Because we actually have something tangible that we can use as a metric for measurement in terms of velocity, right? Because that's what the price of earnings is measuring. How quickly you actually get your money back. And we're going to see this in the definition in a second.
So we're not looking at the value of the yield, but we're looking at the value of the entire system.
Correct. That is correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And the price to earnings chart is explaining to me very clearly why no business effort I ever started in my life has worked out to date.
Correct.
Basically. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
Makes
you
perfect
you
sense.
you hear this from OGs all the time. You know how Hex has literally eclipsed their whole life endeavor.
Right.
Yeah.
Simple, because it's just math, man, and it's designed to work well when you understand what's going on. I
Ashanti
mean,
and live
And
chat.
even the businesses that work, I mean, the
yeah,
amount of inflated that you're paying to get that earnings, is just it's so stupid,
It
right?
was
Like what the average stock trades at for, like how much you're paying. It's crazy.
it was a joke that I had running with Blaze. Like we at some point had a conversation and we were talking about different business ideas or just business opportunities. And then at some point we just started to ask ourselves, but will it 100x? If the if the earnings won't 100x, then it's not worth
It's not worth
doing
it.
it.
I
They
was,
could just better just sit
Well,
on your ass and buy hex.
there's jobs that you can do, there's businesses that you can do in things that you enjoy, and then you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
always, I
exactly.
mean, knowing what we
Not for
know,
the
you can
money,
invest the money that you bring in into
Yeah,
crypto and 100x that.
hobby.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's true. Yeah.
yeah, it's a fun hobby, and it's just a way to keep buying.
Yeah, I was going to interject earlier. I was going to say one of our frequent commenters in live chat, if I remember correctly, it was Ashanti, and um, she pointed out, T shares are like having employees, in business, and it's true. It's true. Like somebody, like a big earner, that working for your business. That's what a T
hmm
share is.
It's
yep.
kind of like being a mafioso and like going to like having a bunch of people that work at a job, and it's like, yo, time to pay up because they're doing all the work and you're
Ah,
just collecting.
I
You're just like,
understand.
yo, pay up or I break your legs.
I understand very clearly now. I understand everything that you're
T-shirts don't have legs, man.
Thanks for the super sticker, brother. I appreciate it.
thinking.
Yeah,
yeah.
mine don't because I already broke them.
Yeah.
I
Right.
said pay up.
Right.
That's a good sticker.
Yeah.
All
It's a
right.
good one.
What
Right.
did you pull up?
So
S&P
what I pulled
500.
up is the current S&P 500 ratio. So
The PE
presently,
ratio, yeah.
presently, if you buy the S&P 500 ETF,
What
you
the
can
fuck?
expect to get your money back in 29 years. Congratulations, you're a moron.
Whoa.
Now,
Damn.
how is this true? We're gonna get there because we haven't finished. So to determine, you're getting the market value per share. Right now, we understand why I'm using one hex and not some random value. Right? It's because we're looking at that one crypto. That's it. Simple. And we're taking the payout per T-share on a daily basis and prescribing a rate to it. Now, here's something you got to understand. Let's clear this out. We know the payout per T-share on average is 5.8 hex, right? 5.7, whatever. Who cares? Whatever the number is.
Yeah.
Take that, multiply by a year, you get 2,117 hex. This is your total accrued payout per year, right? This isn't specific to the system because the system is always working. Does that make sense? So why does it make sense to look at it this way when in reality it's doing this every day, not every year, it's doing it every day. And you need to understand that. That's how critical it is, right? Because if you're dividing this number, let me see if I can invert it. Come on. Okay, it doesn't want to work. So let's take 1 divided by 217. The fuck is this telling you? It's not telling you shit. That's basically the grandeur of a daily payout, right? It's not even the entire thing. It's a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not getting any information from this, right? And that's the annual payout. Because if you're looking at this correctly, it's 1 over some number. It's not it's not a, it's you're not taking this hex number, this number of hex accrued over the year and dividing it by 5.8. That's wrong because that's a daily metric. And what we're trying to ascertain from this is, again, right? What is an analyst trying to tell you? Determine the relative value of owning this thing versus something else. That's what this ratio is telling you, right? Again, the relative value. And we're looking at it here 17% right now. versus an all-time low of 5.51 times versus a present value of 28.96, aka 29 times. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, this is real right now in 2021. This is an opportunity. This is not something you question. This is something you try to understand when it's being relayed over and over and over and over and over. This shit is gonna go down in history.
Especially when, you know, once you find out about Hex, it's like impossible to be excited about any stock. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Much of anything. I mean, really, any other asset, any other business endeavor.
Shout out to Kyler.
Well done, Kyler.
Well done.
Proud of you.
You figured
And
it
then-
out.
and
Welcome
then-
to the internet.
And then check the chat from Green Up. He said, "You did, Kyle. You paid Google 40%." So
Yup. Congratulations.
yeah, man. Better if you want to send Will's money, just better do it on his ETH address or whatever.
Yeah,
on the
assuming
bottom
it
of the
doesn't cost you
description.
40% of the transaction and eat
right.
gas. Send me nothing
Oh yeah,
instead.
true.
Yo,
Never mind.
it's crazy out there.
So much for getting out from under the middleman.
I forgot
Right.
that gas is a thing.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Oh my
It's not
God,
supposed to be that way.
that steak that I was talking about, it's still laying out in the sun. I checked last night to see if I could finally extract it. 10 days out there, $356 fucking dollars.
Bro, I still need to pay $40 to approve my USDC spending. $40.
Wow.
When
Insane.
pulse?
Ridiculous.
When pulse?
Yeah, right now the median cost is $51.52. Waiting for this thing to load. so
Oh
we can see
no,
what
are we
it-
doing this again? Oh, this
Yeah.
was fun. This was fun last time.
Yeah, right. It's a great website, bro. I love it.
Oh my
It's
God.
been extra slow lately with all the new knickknacks, but it's still fun to look at. So
Oh,
I
we
give it
were
a
just
chance.
cracking on it so hard last
Well,
Yeah.
we're
South
gonna
Park
need something for Pulse like this.
Yeah.
So we can
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
transactions. That'd be so
I mean,
cool.
it's gonna move so fast, right?
Zoom, 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 zoom.
Mhm.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here they are. Look at this. Look at these fucking Bitcoin retards again. Oh my God. This is sad. Look at them. Oh my God.
Oh, it's so crazy, isn't it?
Look, there's a big head dude again. Big blonde head. Come on,
So
dude. You can
So
get.
many Bitcoin transactions.
Oh, they all just got vaporized. They all just got vaporized. Yeah. Okay. Now they're back.
Vaporware.
Oh man, this is sad.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
The Lightning Network.
Yeah.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
The SegWit, hitch to the back of the block.
Taproot,
block.
here we
The
come.
SegWit divide. It's
Oh my
crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. Look at this shit, like how it's laid
Lightning
out. and
Network short bus.
Yeah, literally. And then you don't get no data. You just get a definition of when it happened and shit. Oh man, too funny. What is it? Block Scouts.
No.
Or is it Scan? I can't remember the damn site ever. I know it's Block Scout something. Oh, it's Pulse Chain some shit.
Hey guys, do they have that visualizer for any of these other chains? Just out of interest.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But you can like select various chains on this one. Yeah, BCH, XMR, LTC. So those are the ones you can select.
Oh, I
on
want to
this
see BCH. That's a really interesting coin, I heard.
one. Yeah, we'll
I
see.
think it's going to the moon.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's just a picture of Roger Ver's face bouncing.
So look, this is how fast the blocks move on Pulse Chain. So it would be a bus leaving every 3-4 seconds, basically. Pew, gone.
Oh, that's 7 seconds already. 8. Oh,
8.
oh, that's 2. Wait, what?
I mean, when
Okay.
something moves this fast, you're gonna have blocks that are gonna be longer than others because the average is gonna be skewed by that speed. It's gonna have to be,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Because we already saw one that was 8 seconds, and the other two were freaking like barely 1. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
You guys know how on YouTube in a live chat you have an option to slow it down. they're going to need to have a toggle like on the pulse chain.
Yo, what the
Can I
fuck is
please have it
this?
in
Look
6
at
seconds?
that!
Yo,
Hey,
I'm trying to.
there's
Can
my shit.
somebody
There's
hold
my
on?
shit right there.
Can somebody explain
Oh my
BCH to me?
God.
I don't understand what this is. Apparently,
What
That's
the
all,
hell's going on?
they're all NFTs. They're all NFTs.
What is happening?
does this never move? Like, what the fuck is this?
And here we have a Polaroid of a Charlie Brown plushie
It's
NFT.
2% loaded, bro. 2%. This is never leaving. I thought this was supposed to be like cash. What happened?
Look at all the dead bodies in the bus. Oh
They're
This
never-
is crazy. Hey, gas is cheap, guys. Get it ready. Look, it's almost
It is
close.
cheap.
wait. I better go check out this steak. I'll see you guys later. Hold on.
Better check it while it's hot.
Oh man.
So back to this PE though. Let's stop fucking around because we
Yes.
be fucking around.
Yeah.
You know, this is what we're seeing, right? We're literally seeing a distinction in the value that's being provided by the market in real time, right? Here is 29 times your money, or you make your money back in 29 years, right? Here you're making it back at the lows in 5.5 years at best. Here we can determine that the value is made by looking at this math, right? Let's clear this out. Again, we're looking at what this is, right? 1 over the earnings that you're supposedly getting from the system. But in essence, this is really a yield you're tangibly getting if you're staked, right? So what's actually happening is that the system is reacting to this, right? Because that value is tangibly being created. It's not a fictitious number, right? So let's keep reading. So the current stock price can be found by simply plugging in a ticker, yada yada, right? And although and although the price, concretely value, this concrete value reflects what an investor must pay for a stock, right? Again, we went over how that's in fiat terms, right? Here we're literally looking at the value of the system itself in crypto terms and what it's actually doing. And that's actually being reflected in the system for real, in real time. And we're going to see that. The earnings per share is a slightly more nebulous figure, as they write here. And they're going to go into exactly how in this little paragraph. Now, most people don't know is that earnings per share comes in 2 flavors. The one flavor is backward looking, another flavor is forward looking. So in essence, this number here is typically based on the current earnings that's either been printed or that they are tracking. I can't remember exactly what they use. It doesn't actually matter because it's crap anyway. So here we have something tangible that we're just tracking and systemically tracking what it's doing, right? And here we have a representation of that. And this is that math. So when we're looking at what this is, and we're going to finish reading this, right? Trailing 12 months. This number signals a company's performance over the past 12 months. The second type of earnings is included in the company's earnings release, and it's typically called guidance. It's earnings guidance. This number is the company's best educated guess of what it expects to earn in the future. It's not that it's going to earn that. It's its best educated guess, right? So these versions of EPS form the basis of trailing and forward price of earnings, respectively. So now we understand that this number is not some concrete thing that's detailing anything tangible, right? It's a look, it's a snapshot, it's a view of value. And that's it, right? So let's keep reading a little bit more. This number is one of the most widely used tools by which investors and analysts determine a stock's relative valuation. Again, right? The price of earnings helps one determine whether a stock is overvalued or undervalued. A company's price of earning can also be benchmarked against other stocks in the same industry or against a broader market, such as the S&P 500. Right now, this again can be configured to have it mean whatever you want based on however you divide it, but the reality stays the same. This is still a measure of valuation, right? And this is something that when we keep reading, right, we just skipped a bunch of specific innuendo, which doesn't matter and isn't
Yeah.
topical. We want to have a hierarchical understanding, a macro understanding of what this valuation is signifying, right? And in a lot of cases, a lot of people like to look at it like this. As I've explained before, the price of earnings is basically letting you know how quickly you're going to make your money back within a year, right? So you take that number, it's a multiple of those earnings, right? And we already went over that, right? Trail 12, trailing 12 months, and then the EPS guidance of what a company will make in the future. So now we know it's based on a year. No discussion there, right? If we
Mhm.
do that for Hex, we already know that it's this number.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you make in terms of Hex in a year, right? Simple. So if we divide that value of that one hex, then we get this. Is that realistic?
No.
Of course not. We know we're getting more value than that from hex. So clearly this number has to be wrong and it's not making sense. It's not jiving with the actual story. So we must be using the wrong denominator. And that's something that I ran into already. Right? Like I'm the guy making up this formula and having to explain it. So I have to understand what I'm talking about because I have to explain it to a whole shit ton of people and I have to be right every time. Now I'm gonna look like a moron. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't like looking like a moron. So this was
Definitely
clearly,
not.
yeah, this was clearly the wrong number. Right. So what's another way of looking at it that people like to throw at me? Looking at it in terms of a T-share, right? A T-share right now is 19,571. Divide that by, oops, that number again. What do you get? Okay, doesn't want to play.
Yeah, you had a space between.
Yeah. 9.2%, right? That's the number. Now again, is that really realistic? Oh, 92%. There you go. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. I don't even understand what that number's supposed to be saying. Oh, I didn't. Okay, I missed a number. See if I can throw a zero in there. No, it doesn't look like I can. But it should be 19,571 divided by 2117. There we go.
Oh yeah, this
9.2.
was exactly what the guy on Twitter said
Mm-hmm.
when he was mistaking the P&E as a measure of
Yield.
measuring the yield,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I got confused as well. We were
Correct.
looking at the P&E as a valuation of the yield, but it's a valuation of the entire system.
Yep.
And this is the explanation why the P&E ratio doesn't work if you're looking only at yield, because here it says that you would spend 9 years before you get your money back, and that's just not true. You
Correct.
see it in the
Right.
chart.
Correct.
But when you do it in a way that Wills was talking about, when you uh, put 1 over 2000, 2117, then you get the actual P&E ratio. And that
Correct.
kind of that proves why that is the correct one instead of this, because this just doesn't make any sense.
But that's the thing, right? You have to sit there and think about it.
So can you go back to the
Mm-hmm.
Investopedia page? I
Sure.
want to point out something, like one of the things that made it really clear for me.
I think it was this line
The
actually.
valuation of the one where it
Hold
said the
on. No,
20
it's this
bucks.
one. Yeah, it's this one. It's down here.
Yeah. So we were reading this in the green room, and this was the moment where I actually started to understand it. There was someone in the chat like 15 or 20 minutes ago who said, "So what does the 0.17 mean against the 5.51 on the stock market?" Well, it's basically, well, it says it here. If a company was currently trading at a P/E multiple of 20x, the interpretation is that an investor is willing to pay 20 bucks for $1
Of
of current
earnings.
earnings.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you go to the hex chart of the P/E, it means here that an investor is willing to pay 17 cents to get $1 of earnings. And that means that it's crazy undervalued, because if I could pay 17 cents for every dollar, so every time I put in 17 cents, I get $1, you're going to put in infinite amount of money, right? So that means that this is
Mhm.
crazy undervalued. And then if you go to the stock P&E,
This one or the present one?
yeah, this one.
Mm.
It says here on the all-time low, it's a 5.51 PE ratio, and that means that someone is willing to pay $5.50 to get $1 extra of earnings, and that is what is important here, is how much of a difference that is. I would much rather prefer paying 17 cents to get $1 instead of paying $5
Yeah.
to get $1, right?
Definitely.
And that's why Hex is making insane amounts of money, and that's also why the price is going up. Because why wouldn't you pay 17 cents for $1?
Mhm.
Is that all correct? What I'm saying was
Yeah, correct.
accurate.
It's just a measure of value. I mean, look at where we started and look where we're at. It's
Yeah.
not a coincidence that the actual is 49 days and not even 64.
Can
It's
you get
because of
the that calculation when you got to the 62?
yeah.
How did you get there again?
So it's actually the
That
same
was
thing as doing that. So we're taking the payout per T share and what it's doing to the system in real time. And we're figuring out how quickly we can make our money back in, guess
oh
what?
yeah.
1 year. Voila. At the time when I did the calculation, it must have been 17.4 because I rounded up to 60 to 64.
Mhm.
But 63, 64, same difference, right? What's a few days?
Yeah.
It's nothing when it's a double.
So
Which is what we're tracking.
this is ridiculous. So
Correct.
you literally just mathematically explain why this is going
System
to
is so good.
double in 62, 64,
Yeah,
whatever days. Like
correct.
mathematically backed.
Proved it. Yep. PhD should be honorary given to me for this.
I'm saying, man, like it's your hobby is melting brains, dude. What the?
But it took me a bit to fully understand this, and
That's
it's
funny.
good that
That's a
I'm
good
seeing this
compliment,
a
actually.
second
I'll
time.
take that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Melting brains.
Well, I think, and I think like a lot of people, like I've heard, like I talked about this yesterday with you, that like I've heard criticism about like a prediction. This isn't a prediction. It's
What it
just
does.
information.
Yeah, it's just what it
So it's
does.
just it's just what it is. So you could do with that what you wish. Obviously, it's a fluid market. It's traded 24/7. Anything can happen, but this is just the data. So do
Hey,
with it as you wish. Like people love to buy tops and sell bottoms. So you're going to do what you're going to do at the end of the day. We're just trying to give you information so you can make educated guesses.
wait,
And
check
it's
it.
all you can always. There's always fluctuations, right? Like
Mhm.
a let's just a random plant, for example. Like a tree is gonna grow like a tree, but it can grow in a different way. But it can still
Mhm.
be the same tree. Like
Well said. Well said. Yes.
mathematically, it's still the same thing. It just acts a little bit different. So might get like a double in 70 days, but then
Right,
another
exactly.
time it's like 60 days or 50 days. Like
Well, over time, it's been quicker than what the system is designed to generate. This is the thing that's funny that
yeah,
people
but I
don't
already
understand.
hear people talk about it because now there's a dip, right? So then it takes a
Yeah,
bit
it doesn't
longer.
matter.
Blah blah blah.
That's
blah.
the thing. It doesn't matter. It
Yeah,
achieves that goal. That's reality. It doesn't
yeah.
matter that it's dipping now.
I
That's
just
irrelevant.
wanted to bring home the point that
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah,
math
yeah.
is math, and it will balance itself out
Correct.
constantly
And that's the thing that people
because
don't
that's the
understand.
fucking math. Like
Yeah, the next
Yeah.
move is 93 cents, then $1.85, and that's what the system is designed to do. Like it's here in your face.
Yeah, but then you got the people that are like, whales only. It's November 7th, and we're not at
yeah,
85
yeah.
cents like you said. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do to make this right?
Right. All right. All right.
And you, by the way, you should be nicer.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
you
Stop
should
being
be
a dick.
nicer, Wells.
Yeah, fuck off.
Um,
Understand
and
what an average is, bro.
and
That's my
Wells,
response.
I just got a tweet. You got tagged in it as well from the guy on Twitter that
Mhm.
triggered all this. He said, "I think I'm starting to understand now that I have to add the gains price in dollars afterwards. Maybe I did needed to feel the pain in order to understand. After all,
Ooh.
apologies
Yo,
to the
nothing wrong
community.
with that.
Thanks for taking the time to explain." I answered this tweet with, "You're close. Keep on listening." Because I was at this place as well in the green room with you, where
Mhm.
I said, "Oh wait, you have to add the gains, and then you're right." But it's not entirely accurate
No.
because we're not looking at the yield. We're looking at the entire system.
Correct. We're looking at
so
what the system
we're-
is producing in
We're
terms of
looking at
value.
Right.
exactly, and the value is not only the yield;
Nope.
it's the entire
Exactly.
Price
system.
appreciation.
Exactly.
It's a price
It's-
appreciation as well.
And
Yep.
and so it's not accurate to say you have to do the yield and the gains. It's more overall, and it's more holistic than that.
Mhm.
Hexagonal, dead on.
Wait, what did he say?
He said
Whales don't
whales
care about
don't.
your feelings only.
Ah!
That
Whales
shit
don't
is
care.
funny. But you guys got to understand, right? Like we're trying to share like legit information, right?
Yeah.
So this is why it was this important to me to
Yeah.
take out time, right? So everybody understands exactly what this chart is representing and why
Yeah.
we're at where we're at. Because it's not a mistake. It's literally by design, and I've proven
Mhm.
it mathematically.
And
I
also
think it
a
was
thing,
good though. I
a
think it
big,
was a good outcome. Like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
him to do all this. 'Cause I think a lot
big
more
thing,
people
though,
understand now.
a big thing though is that we often, and I get it, it's really easy, but often streamers get approached by random people on Twitter with a really big attitude, where it feels like you're against that person,
Yeah, yeah.
while in
it's not.
reality you're on the
Mhm.
fucking same team. So
Yeah.
like if
Yeah.
when I message Wales, I'm not saying, hey, you're a dickhead, you said this wrong, blah blah blah. I just message him, hey, I heard this, I think this, what do you think? Because he's my teammate. He's not an opponent. Like a lot of times it just feels like everyone's seeing each other as
Oh, I
opponents. but
agree.
It's
Oh,
just not
I
true,
agree.
man.
That's the
I've told
And
people
you know
before,
that the
I'm like,
people
you don't
that
have to like me. I'm gonna pump your bags anyway.
yeah,
That's
but
the
you know the
zeitgeist,
people that see everyone as opponents, you're gonna lose at life. Like that's not the right
Mhm.
attitude to have.
That's the zeitgeist of the age right now, isn't it? I mean, it's totally applicative to the tenor of how things are going in this world. Exactly what you say. It's
Like
the zeitgeist.
we need to change, and like a lot of people, and the successful people, understand this.
Well, my
The
big
new-
thing is the dynamic for me is that, I mean, what are we made out of paper fucking mache at the end of the day?
No,
Like,
no.
can we be? No, I'm just saying, applicative to how Wales chooses, right, to conduct himself,
Oh
to
yeah.
deliver this accurate information. A lot of people are open wounds, and they're like taking it personally that Wales could talk like that.
Well, I'll tell you straight up, like a little bit about that. So like I'm from the same area, and I moved to the south when I was 14 years old.
Oh,
And I
you
can tell
speak
you
my language.
there was no more culture shock in my life than when that happened.
Yes.
And everybody up north, especially in New York, New Jersey area, Philly area, is very harsh. Okay,
Yep.
so we come off
us.
extremely harsh. And people, I had no friends. I had no friends when I moved down here because everybody thought I was like the meanest dude ever. I was just like cutting people, and that's just how we do, right? That's just how we do.
Yo,
you just
for real,
get in there, and you talk your shit.
Back in my
it is what it is.
back
So
in my
people
cowboy
just don't
days.
understand.
Yeah, back in my cowboy days, I'd go to Boulder, Colorado, Taos, New Mexico, San Diego. We'd be out there in a cipher of people. The East Coast people would be like, "Yeah, but your mom sucks it," because it was a term of endearment. We all like the people out there would take us literally and get highly offended. So I hear exactly. Yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying, Fatendis. That is so accurate, man.
Yeah, I mean, you growing up there, like you get savage early.
Yeah,
that's
you
just
don't got a
the way it
choice.
is. There's so many people. It's just a cold environment. So like I did have to adapt when I moved down here. I did like stop coming off like that and everything. But it's funny because when I meet people like that, it just reminds me of home. And so I appreciate it. But I've had many friends over the years, from the New York City area, and it's always been like that, and people did not get them. So I understand, but you just got to understand, man. Again, we're a global, like culture. We're all just melted in here together. If you don't like how somebody talks, you just got to understand you didn't grow up like that, and it is what it is. Take the message for what it is. Not guess what? Not every Richard Hart is not everybody's cup of tea, but you're gonna learn something from that man. So it'd behoove you to listen. It's the same thing with Wales, the same thing with a lot of people. So
everybody
just listen.
You don't
have to like somebody, you don't have to love somebody, but you should listen and you should learn.
Exactly. I learned from a lot of people that I don't like. Fact.
Exactly.
That's just the way it is.
100.
I still don't like
100.
Wales.
Still don't
I
like
hate
him,
the
but I
guy.
listen to this fucking ass. And that's it. You know, it's that
No.
easy, man. You don't gotta like it.
Mhm.
but
I'm glad we talked about this though. It needed to be.
It's important, man.
Yeah.
About, you know.
People need to understand nobody's bigger than anybody else, man. We're all just trying to achieve the same goal. Simple.
Yep.
Yeah, we all have different delivery methods,
That's
so
all.
deal
I
with
mean,
it.
if anything, I'm kind of shocked that no one actually asked the question or went into it. Like this guy actually showed that he didn't understand it,
Mhm.
and he tried to correct us, and then we had to explain it. But a lot of I
mean,
I
it
am
merited
100%
this, right?
positive that let's see how many people are watching. 164 people are watching. I'm willing to bet a lot of money that half of the people at least also didn't understand.
I
and
think
we're
probably
like,
like
meh.
90. I think probably like 80 to 90% didn't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah,
But
probably.
yeah,
Which is fine, but like it
Just try to understand it.
I actually give credit to this guy that he puts it out there.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, he
Like,
owned
yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah, he totally
that's
owned
good
it.
because
That's cool.
yeah, we went over it
That's
in
how you
depth,
learn.
and yeah, that's how you learn. And a lot of these things is you know, if you really understand it, like we were talking about, it just helps you show better, you know. And like I say all the time, like my favorite whales chart is the inflation chart, and like OGs get that wrong all the time. OGs misinterpret that. People day one.
Jeff G.
So it's like
said.
we all got to change how we talk, you know, because we need to really understand what's really going on. What's really
Right.
going on.
I mean,
3.69 is talked about way too much, but that's not reality right now.
right. Imagine if everybody understood how good the system actually is and they could relate
Yeah.
the same way. We
Yeah.
all win. That's the thing. We all
Mhm.
win. My job is to help all of us win, just like everybody's job is to do the same.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I don't think one person is particularly more important than any other person in that aspect. And I think that's a big problem that has been going on lately in terms of just everybody, right? Like people are thinking they're more
Mhm.
important than everybody else. And yeah, nobody's more important than anybody else, period. Without us, there is no Richard Hart and a discussion.
Yep.
So don't
Yep.
get it fucked up.
Mhm.
Stop getting it twisted, thinking you are more important than the mass. You are not. We all make this community good, not one individual. Every individual serves their respective role, and that's it, man. It ain't more complicated than that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and your feelings and your emotions and where you are in your emotional journey, right?
Your problem.
That does not define any fucking thing that has to do with this. It
Nothing.
doesn't.
That's your fucking
How
problem.
you feel about math. Oh, you know what? I was really angry at the wind yesterday. Man, that wind that was pissing me the fuck off, dude. Fuck, man, couldn't
Wait,
believe it.
you're pissing in the wind?
Yeah, right. Always have been. No, but you get my point, right? Like, fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. People gotta understand. This is a mission. This ain't got shit to do with ego. This ain't got shit to do with none of that.
Yeah, well, I got a personal problem with gravity, man. Fucking gravity. That shit. That fucking shit is getting on my last nerve.
You saw that by going to the moon.
Too funny, man. Too funny. Too funny.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's too funny, bro. But again, right? Like the mission is the mission for everybody. If you're not here to try to get wealthy, then you know you can go elsewhere, man. Nobody really gives a fuck what you're doing. That's your
Mhm.
problem. It's so simple, right? Because everybody that tunes into my stream, they know I'm talking about generational wealth and nothing else.
That's right.
I'm not talking about fucking little 2-baggers. You can go talk about that bullshit elsewhere, little 10-baggers and all that. We talking about 1,000 X's over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We're also
talking about paying for $500,000 cars here.
Yeah, we're also talking about turning a system on its ear that's been in place for thousands of years, and that's what, like Tuesday afternoon walk in the park doing that. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, like people are completely misconstruing what crypto is for what they want it to be. What you want it to be is irrelevant. It's a tool for human species to obtain freedom, whether you like it or not. And that's exactly how it's going to be used because it's exactly why it was developed. So you can keep it moving, and you know you can fuck off because again, it doesn't matter what you think, right? What is what is.
Wait, do you have the wrong comment?
No.
Oh.
I don't highlight haters, bro. I ghost
Okay,
them.
gotcha.
I ghost them because they're irrelevant, right? They can learn why they hate. That's my
Gotcha.
motto.
No, okay,
I'm not
okay.
here to hate, bro. I'm here to teach. right?
Checking, man.
Yeah, I'm here to teach. People get me confused. They get me confused, right? Like I'm here to educate, man. I'm here because everything I've done in my life has brought me to this point. Literally. I could literally break it down step by step. And everything I've gone through in my life has literally prepared me for this crypto moment.
That's
Mm.
right.
Literally.
Oh, I believe that, man. I'm feeling it.
Literally. Like you can't pretend to think what's going on is normal. Because it's fucking not. It's not. And that's a fact. Because it's on paper how illegal all this shit that's happening is.
Hmm. How about that poem, Wales, that young lady delivered, that MP4 file?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's too bad it's 3 minutes. I
Yeah,
wish I could have shared that one on Twitter because it was a good one.
I tried. Yeah, it's 45 seconds. They only give you 45 seconds right in the middle of it.
Yeah. So it's important for people to understand that the mission at hand is not specific to me. It's specific to us. Period. Like it's my mission to help people understand that they own the best thing on the planet because they do. And that's the only way we are going to separate ourselves from the system that allows us to not be separate. Because
Right.
everybody wants the same thing, right?
And we know what it is, right? Like, you know, we were talking in the green room. I had got some through some mutual friends and stuff. I had got some like fairly large size crypto influencers on crypto Twitter into Hex. They got in around like 40 cents. You know, obviously I was telling them, you know, you guys know what the deal is with crypto. Obviously it can drop, you know, anytime. It's been a long time since we dropped, yada, yada, yada.
Bring down my butt.
They allegedly staked and were like, I think like decent sized squids, you know, so it was a pretty, you know, decent sized buy that they did. Um, I can tell from the way that they've been acting that they haven't bought the dip, but they got involved in the latest rug pull that you've probably seen all over crypto Twitter, and I saw that they each took like 6-figure losses,
Nice.
and I'm sure their followers took massive losses too from reading the
Perfect.
comments on
Perfect.
those you know, on those threads. And it's
Probably.
like we talked about, I don't know if we talked about it yesterday or other times. It's like every time you take a loss like that in crypto, you're taking a huge L because you're losing that potential. Because even in Bitcoin, you know, Bitcoin could 10x, you know, Bitcoin could 100x over the long term. And if you're losing 6-7 figures, I mean, you're losing ungodly amounts of money. You
Makes no
know,
sense, brother.
Hex is something that's so safe, provides a yield. You know, imagine if they bought that, you know, multi-$100,000 you know, position that they lost. Imagine if they bought Hex, you know, at the
Right.
lows and now they're earning
Yeah.
yield on it for years. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. And it's sad to see people get wrecked like over
For
and over
fun.
again.
For fun,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah, just because they're chasing this next like gem, you know, as they call them, which is hilarious because like anything that's rugging, how could that fucking possibly be a gem? You know, they just
I
it's
have no
it's
idea.
sad.
That's a good question.
Good
It's
question.
super sad. Yeah. So
It's incredible, bro. I mean, we really try to help people understand what they're trying to accomplish, right? I mean, at the end of the day, whether you're spending gains along the way or not isn't really relevant. Um, take into consideration what your life goal is actually when you're taking capital and laying it down in the market, right? Whether it's an instantaneous quick trade or not, your overall objective is to compound that capital. Period.
mhm.
Period. The question is, how do you intend to compound it? That's the question you have to answer yourself. When I realized what the right answer to that question was, I was already looking for Hex. In my mind, I was looking for it. Even though I wasn't literally looking for it physically, like sitting down and trying to find the shit, like I found it because I was looking for it. That's why when I fully understood T-shares, it was so easy for me to lock it up for 15 years. It was a no-brainer because my objective is to continuously compound my capital until I can't compound it no more. Simple. So when you have a system that's literally providing the same rate of value on a daily basis, you have to take advantage of it. You have to take advantage of it. I mean, come on. What debate is there to be had? Let's take into account the fact that 46 of the inflation is all the inflation that's being actually printed. Not even 100, not even 75, 46% of it. 1.73% is the actual inflation that was minted after year one of Big Payday.
crazy.
Yeah. This chart is so important that I'm probably gonna change my profile picture to it. Like, this shit is crazy. This
Yeah, I
picture
mean,
is
to
so
me,
important.
it's the chart that we should all talk about the most, probably, because it's the most like under the radar, but it's also like one of the biggest things because people are constantly talking about the inflation, but like the way Hex is so unique that like when people think about inflation, they're thinking about like actual inflation, and the actual inflation of the coin is way lower than what people think.
Right.
So,
I mean, imagine, right? People are thinking they're buying into this big sea of something that isn't there, right?
mhm,
A lot of people talk about the circulating supply, not understanding exactly how the system is designed to work.
yep,
The actual circulating supply is irrelevant. What's actually on the market for sale is what's relevant, right? And what we can see outside of what's actually being minted, which is 46% of what we thought was being minted, um, the system is continually printing value, right? And the system is dragging itself up with that value because it has to. Like, it's literally designed to. Literally.
mhm,
And we can mathematically show it, which is crazy. Because when you go back and you look at this chart, there's a reason we've actually surpassed the base rate that's provided by the price to earnings ratio of 64 days. There's a reason for that, right? I mean, how the hell
yep.
did we skip it by 2 weeks? That can't be a
Mhm.
coincidence.
Mm.
Like, think for 2 seconds, right? Like, sometimes you got to really think for a little bit.
So you
Like,
got
this.
the
Go ahead.
actual right now. Does that get prolonged now because of the dip? Do you think it's going to go back to the
So let
purple
me
one now?
explain how I do it. What
Mm.
happens is like on the date of the double, that's the time you mark the double
Yeah,
because this is ultimately an average of what the system has done over
yeah,
time
exactly.
in the past, right?
Mm.
So what it's actually done is 49 days every time it's doubled over time. But we know it didn't actually do that because for like 6 months it didn't do anything.
So
Yeah, exactly.
that's the average. Okay.
Correct. So it's an average, right? I mean,
Yeah, so now it's
imagine.
pulling back again to the purple line,
Correct.
which should be the base.
But then
at least.
if we go parabolic, then it could catch up and make up
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah, for
ground.
sure.
Yeah, it will.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
And
It
that's what
will.
I'm saying, right? A tree
Yeah.
is a tree. It can just behave a bit different, but it's
Yeah, exactly. But
Right.
that's exactly how it works, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Right.
well said. I like that.
Hmm. It's well
Mm.
said
But
because
you
that's
know,
exactly
like,
how it works. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
you
Go ahead, bro.
so like someone in chat was saying, you know, like why is that the previous chart important about the inflation? Well, for one, we see that the since I've been in, you know, and I've been in since the beginning, the average staking length has constantly been trending up, and it's not really showing any sign of like, you know, that stopping.
Slowing down, right?
Yeah, slowing
Well,
down. Number
here's a
two,
here's a
like
here's a
people.
stat. Staked hex per staker. That number keeps going down. What does that tell you?
Mhm.
Mm.
Right? It tells you there's less hex to go around for
Yeah,
staking because people are staking that shit.
exactly, and
Hey guys,
you see that all the time.
can
But
I ask a question? Oh, I'm sorry, 410.
well, yeah. Let me finish this
Yes, sir.
real
Yes,
quick.
sir.
So you know, the other thing is that the constantly the inflation number that's parroted by, you know, pretty much everybody is 3.69 inflation, but that chart shows you that that's not the actual inflation that's like hitting the market currently. If you look at Bitcoin did, you know, what, 6 million X with you know, pretty much the same in overall inflation, but our current inflation, as seen on that chart, since big payday, is lower than Bitcoin's current inflation.
Oh yeah.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, do you get that? So, you know, all these people like parroting about how, you know, precious Bitcoin is in the current environment with, you know, high inflation. Like, Hex's inflation right now is less than Bitcoin's.
Mm.
Ain't that a
That's
biatch?
that's not arguable. Like, that's, it is what it is. So that is why it's so important, because people will make you believe that Hex is a shit coin it's super common, yada yada
Okay,
yada.
that's a
Well,
good place.
that's not what the chart shows.
That's a good place to then ask what I wanted to ask you guys, especially with you three here. First off, is my mic doing okay? Because some people said I was too loud, blowing out eardrums. Do I sound
Sound all
okay?
right to me.
Okay.
Hold on.
I turned down manually. I had that auto control function on, and it must not have been working that well. So
Worse.
Renob, in chat brought up a couple minutes ago, this whole issue that seems to follow us, and fuck them, fuck them all. We agree. But if the debate about circulating supply continues as it's germane to the OA, right? And then we look at we look at the entire ecosystem of blockchain fucking finance, and even like Hexologist last week, he had a chart on his show that just showed where the vast majority of coins and tokens go in any project. Okay. What the fuck is it with people in Hex and the OA that they're not applying to all these other projects that have a very concentrated amount? You know what I mean? With the developers and with the whales of the system. I mean, it's like that way everywhere. So what's the hang up specifically to you guys' minds? Is it just because Richard's the type of guy who will go on camera and say, well, fuck you? Like, what is that?
I don't know. I guess you're right. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
I just, I don't even worry about that. Like, what I see that as is opportunity, because people are assigning like all this risk with, those coins instead. Like, they don't realize that the OA is getting diluted every single day and has been diluted every single day since inception.
Yeah,
and
and
we're about to enter year 3. It's like, come on, guys.
I wouldn't characterize it as worry. It's more like I'm a scientist observing a phenomenon.
Oh yeah. I just see that, like, the more people, like, I think people might see like people saying scam and like get upset. Like, it makes me bullish because I understand that like those people are all just going to buy much higher, and it just shows how much more we have to go. Because I heard the scam narrative when I was in Bitcoin. I heard the scam narrative when I was, when I was getting into Ethereum, everyone called it a pre-mined shitcoin, and that it was a scam.
Including
exactly.
Exactly.
A lot of people said that, but
but
you know what? Like, Ethereum, when I got in, went $7 to almost 5,000. So scam me, daddy. Like, come on.
Pretty much. Scam me all day and scam me some more.
Scam me harder, daddy.
Yep.
Scam me harder, daddy. Yeah, exactly. Like, come the fuck on. Nobody clip that, please.
Too funny, man.
But yeah, so like, I just see it as opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And, and that's all it is. It's like every time I see that, I'm like, another 100x, another 100x. That's
crazy,
how I see it.
You're so right.
Cha-ching, motherfucker.
Hex is the IQ test.
Yep, it really is. And people are gonna be so late to the party. It's crazy. People think they're late now, which is funny because they're not late now. Not by a mile. Not by a mile. I mean, year 2, right? Like the first full year is only minted 46% of the so-called inflation the system is producing. False. 53% of that was fast forwarded. It was sent to the future. Like, that means those hacks are gone for now. Like, they're not hitting the market. So inflation, not really a thing around here. This is pretty deflationary, right? I mean, how else?
The T-shares definitely are. Like,
I mean, this is what they produce, right? Like a straight payout every day. This is what the system is doing every single day, right? So this is a prime time to get value from this system. Like, this is the kind of return the system is generating, 6 figures. Because this is just a return number in index form. So you just remove 100. So 286,654. You're welcome. Like, boom.
You're welcome.
Like, this is crazy. Like, just by staking, this is just for one T-share, stakes his inception. That's it. That's all this chart is showing you in index form. Those are return numbers in index form. That's all. That is all. One T. Okay, so yeah, look. You're taking something tangible and trying to make it intangible. Don't do that. So let's go back to price to earnings. Again, price to earnings is literally the inversion of the payout per T-share chart. Like that's it. It's just 1 over the payout per T-share. That's all it is, right? So let's go back to that calculation. As all the payout, the price of earnings calculation is, it's just 1 hex divided by the payout per T-share. That is all, and you get 17%. Okay, that's where this value comes from. I just take 1 and divide it by that, and it yields that number. No, we don't. So yeah, it doesn't factor in longer pays better and bigger pays better. It does not doing that. What I'm trying to capture with this metric is how the system is producing value. That's all I'm trying to do, right? Because if the objective of this measure is to give you a measure of how quickly you can get your money back, then we should be able to do that with Hex as well, which is what I did. But the hard thing to wrap your head around is why 1 hex. And the reason 1 hex is because we're looking at it in crypto terms, right? And looking at it in crypto terms produces a real life effect, which we see in the price, which is why we can track how much the price has doubled since inception, right? And it gives us a number that's actually smaller than what it should be doing, which is letting us know that it's taking into account not just the price action, but also the yield that the system is producing, right? Now, if you want to look at what the yield is, you would take the hex produced by what you put up in capital, right? Or in hex. And that's your yield. And the system already gives you that. That's why you get the T shares that you get. And that's that percentage that you get where it says all in that column. So that's your actual yield. It's a function of the hex you put up to get hex paid back to you. And people are conflating the yield with the way I'm using the payout per T-share with respect to the price of earnings. Because again, this is just a measure of valuation and how cheap something is versus something else.
Mm.
That is all. So when we look at how it's used, right? Because I want people to understand how it's used, because that's important. The price to earnings ratio is one of the most widely used tools by which investors and analysts determine a stock's relative valuation. So I'm giving you relative valuation of HEX with respect to other items that can be looked at this way. That is all. So we're not trying to calculate a yield. We're not trying to calculate a number. We're not trying to get a value. We're just trying to find a way to compare HEX versus the broader market. That's literally what I'm trying to do. That's why I compare it to the S&P 500 price to earnings ratio, because people need to understand how cheap HEX is relative to how quickly they can make the money back, right? Because even when you look at the S&P 500 earnings ratio for today, right, it's 28 times versus its all-time low of 5.51. That's pretty high. And people think buying now is a good idea, and it's not. And this is what I'm trying to show you, right? Because even at the all-time low for the stock market, it wasn't a good deal relative to HEX, because HEX is literally yielding 17% on a consistent basis, right? And any upside, any volatility is to the downside in this metric, which in reality is positive to the staker class. And that's what this chart is showing. The staker class gets the full benefit because they're receiving the full valuation that the system is generating, right? Because when you're staked, you're not just getting the price appreciation. You're also getting the yield, which isn't even being shown in this chart, right? That's really shown in this chart. Give me a second. In this chart, where you get the price plus the payout per T-share, right? But it's really just the payout per T-share, which is what you're getting every day. And every day that's getting stacked by the system in terms of value being pushed out. All right. Yeah, that's the whole point. It's not a stock. It's a measure. It's a relative valuation measure. That is all. Right? That's why we take 1 hex and not a fiat value number, because you're not, when you're buying a stock, you're literally paying a specific dollar amount for a claim to some fictitious earnings that are produced in an accounting metric. Like that's it.
Yep. And when they try to, when they pay you a dividend, like people think it's like, oh, they sold, X, Y, or Z. Like if it's like Procter Gamble, it's like, oh, okay, they sold these products, they did good. And they don't realize that it's like most of the time inflation because they're taking loans to pay, shareholders and stuff. It's
Yep.
comical.
Correct. Now, if you're talking about a dividend, right? There's something called a dividend yield, which is the ratio of the dividend divided by the price of the stock,
Hmm.
right? So if you get $5 on a $15 stock, your dividend yield is 33%. Simple, right? Now, nobody's doing that, of course, but it's just the math and how it works. So if you do that with Hex, then you get your Hex yield, which is what the system already gives you. I don't need to give you that. You don't need that from me. Your yield is respective to you, is unique to you. You don't actually need that number from me because everybody gets that from Hex itself. What I'm trying to show you is how valuable Hex is, or how valueless the market is making it seem it is. But in reality, right, the system is stacking $1 a day now like it's nothing. It's been doing it for a while. In terms of payout, that's what it's paying out because that's the value of each Hex per T share, payout per T share in Hex terms, right? Like that's what the system is doing. This is how we view it in fiat terms because that's how we view the system. So I'm just
Hmm.
giving you something you can understand. Otherwise, you're just holding a crypto and you don't know why you're holding it. Like, why does the chart
That's a
do
lot of
this?
people. That's a
Yeah.
lot of people.
Show me another financial product that has this low of a PE. Show me anything.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to do.
I mean, where? I mean, this is the actual rate of change of Hex, of doubling, right? This is what the log base 2
Hmm.
system is all about. How quickly is it doubling? Now, let's talk about doubling again. We talked about it yesterday's one of these. But for marketable sake, let's talk about it again because it's that cool. And it just proves positive what I've been talking about since day one,
Hmm.
which is just how the system is designed to show the doublings, right? And here we are again showing it 1, 2, 4, 8. Like Hex travels in this log base 2 in a lot of ways, right? And a lot of people just don't want to respect that or they don't want to try to understand it. I don't know what, but I'm gonna keep trying because what else can I do, right? It's all we can do is keep trying. So let's do that. And again, right, like the system is just designed to move like that. Like it's crazy. Here we go. Here we go. Total value lock. It's the clearest way to view it. Clearest way to view. Excuse me. Oops. No, power of two values. Go to table. All right. So the highest value you just saw was based on N19, which is 524,288. Now let's get this closer to the chart so I don't have to travel far. 52488. What did this chart do? It stopped right there.
Yep,
Crazy, right?
it's so crazy. Yeah, it's so wild. But it's like Richard always says, hey, go ahead, sell on a double, sell on a
Yes,
double.
sell on a double.
The,
That's
Wait, that's the
it's
literally
like
total value
the
locked.
what is
Oh,
it?
divided by the stakers. All
Yeah,
right.
divided by the current stakers. So that's the dollar amount staked per staker.
So 500,000 per staker.
No,
True.
153 million per staker. Oh, well, that's where it went at the top. Yes.
Yeah, like
Yep.
500,000.
Yep. Which is equivalent with
Sick.
50 cents.
That's dope.
That's literally what we hit. 51.3 cents. That's when we topped. That was September 19th. There we go. Right. So the system literally did this. It's literally doing this, and people don't want to understand it. We started at n equals 8. Let's say that. We never really hit 128. So let's say it started at n equals 8, and we're now at n equals 19. Right? N equals 8 is 256. We went as low as 256 in total value lock per staker. That's it.
Oh, and
250.
the second bottom there, it actually just touches it and then goes straight up.
Yep.
The
That's it.
second one, yeah.
Mhm.
Dope. Yep.
But it goes straight to 4096 and then it blasts through it. straight to 32.6 or straight to 16.384, right? Then eventually it goes to 32768, 6536. Then eventually 131072. Then
Look at how
eventually,
close there are at all those points.
yeah.
Sick.
I mean, just look at how it respects those levels, though, no matter
Yeah,
what
yeah.
across time,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's what's happening
insane.
right now.
Like, look at the bottom of after big payday. It's literally at 8,192.
Yep.
That's sick. I mean, anyone that's watching this that knows anything about math and anything about markets and economy will just only buy this. Like, what
Yep.
coin has this?
None.
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 Yeah.
None. This is one of the reasons I love it so much.
There's an extra
It's
product.
And
it's
most
just
of the people
designed
that
so
hold
well.
it still don't even know. They
Yep.
know, they might know like something, there's something about it, but they don't fully understand. And it's crazy. That's why there's so much opportunity, and you hear people all the time say it's too late, yada yada. They're like, and you know how you know that? Because there's not enough people buying this dip. There's just not.
Nope.
If you really knew, you'd be throwing everything you could into it. But
I mean, let's look at how many stakers
it
we
is what it
actually
is. People are
have.
gonna learn.
How many stakers do we actually have?
I think it's a little over 71,000 now.
Yeah. So the last number I recorded was 71,198, and that was a few days ago. So
Oh,
we
damn.
must be up at least to 71,500 plus at this point.
Dude, that's
I
going
would
quick,
think so.
man.
Yeah.
Seems
It
like
really
last week
is.
we hit 70. 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, I think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was a few days ago. It wasn't that long ago, and we're already at 72,000. I'm pretty sure we're past
Imagine
72,000. Let me
imagine
check.
like seeing all these metrics and like getting rid of hex at these prices. Like what
That's
Yo,
ridiculous, man.
it's so
what are you
crazy.
doing, bro?
Yeah,
Like in no
so
time it
crazy.
could be easily over $1. Like what people
71,600, 71,553 is what we're at as of now
Yep.
on the staker app.
Right. Yeah. There you go. 72,000 coming. It's just crazy to me. Like, for your own mental health, like learn what you're investing in so you don't make dumb decisions.
Correct. That's my objective, right? My objective is to help people understand that if they want to obtain generational wealth, the easiest move is literally to buy and stake Hex. Because if Hex is really going to be around in 15 years, well, then why not own something that's going to pay you while you hold it? And given 720 plus days of flawless operation, I'd say it's a good guess to think it's going to be around in another 13 years. I don't know. That's just me. But I've never seen
Hmm.
software that doesn't shut down or fucking stop working. Google stops working all the time. Facebook stops working all the time. The biggest platforms on the planet stop working all the time.
Yeah.
Hex never has. You want to know why? Because it's designed to interact in a decentralized fashion. So it can't get overloaded. Only you interact with the network. That's it. That's the only node that exists is the one that you create when you interact with the contract. It's a smart contract. That's it. Like that's literally how it's designed to work. So it can't not work. Otherwise,
Insane.
something else is going on. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It is insane. A lot of people don't understand that. Like it's literally designed to work with you and you alone because it's a smart contract.
Hmm.
It's not designed to be some centralized location where everybody goes and does something. That's go.hex.com. That's it. That's not Hex, right? Hex is you interacting with the smart contract. That's what you generate with the contract. So the yield that you generate, it already gives it to you. I don't need to give it to you. I don't need to track your stakes, bro. You already got that. I don't need to show you a 10-year stake and what it looks like. For what? What is that going to give you? You're not looking at your go.hex.com. I got to do it for you too. Nah, I'm good. Like I don't need to do that. I
It's
need
like
I need you to understand
Yeah,
why you
how
Wills,
much
can I
spoon
just
feeding
give
do
you
people
my
need?
Wills, can I just give you my private keys and you do my work,
Yeah, right.
please?
Like, come on, man. Like we're
Yeah, I
trying
think.
to
Unbelievable.
like the mission is a little different than me doing your job for you. Like I want you to be,
Yeah,
analytical and understand what you got like me. That's what I want. I
this was
don't
a good stream, man.
yeah.
Good shit.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
People
So I mean,
understand this chart and understand P&E, and you are good.
yeah, like
Like
this is
understand.
literally telling you how fast Hex is going. And the lower it goes, the faster it goes. Because this was pre-big payday. This was when it wasn't moving fast. This is post big payday down here.
Yeah,
So
it's
this is when
crazy.
this
It's
is when it
crazy.
normalized, it launched, and it was working right, and da da da. So this is what the system was doing because again, this is inversion of the payout per t-shirt, which I'm not even showing pre big payday. I'm only showing post big payday. Post big payday.
Yeah,
So
there's gonna be washouts. You know, it is a crypto, like that's part of the game. But
yeah,
I
of
really do
course.
believe that it's just a matter of time before we start doing the bull flag. Parade of bull flags, where we
Right.
just, because that was a very normal activity since
And
big
here they
payday.
go. And
So I mean,
here
how
they go.
many was there? I mean, a lot.
What's
So
going
I
on right
would
now
I would
looks like
assume
this.
it's gonna continue.
I
Yep.
mean, what's
Yeah.
going on right now
Exactly.
looks just like this. And look it, just like that. Except for that the sell-off occurred over a longer time frame before the rollover. But the rollover was pretty much the same. And the hex kept going down, and here we are forming a W. And when we look at the price, it's the same thing, right? We're just looking at a W again,
Yeah,
right?
if we do the whole W and then move like parabolic again, I mean, literally, you couldn't have gotten a better signal because it's literally a fractal at that point.
Yep. And look at all the
Whether it
selling,
happens
bro.
or not,
Wow.
it doesn't matter because if you know what you're buying, if you know what you're getting, it's always a good time to
Yeah.
buy. It
Yep.
really
Look
is
at
Always.
because the
look how
math
much
the
selling
math
we
says
have
so.
compared to big payday.
Yeah, look at all the selling that happened. This was big payday last year.
We have so much more volume.
This is right after big payday from this is all November, I mean, right here. All of November, right? This was all of September, mad selling, candles, mad red candles. All of October, all of November. Yo, when this thing flips, people aren't gonna believe their necks. Their neck is gonna be looking at them looking stupid. That's how much their neck is gonna break. Because that's how wicked the
Hmm.
move is gonna be. Look at what we did after big payday. And that was literally a function of minted inflation. And that was it. Like now there's less hex to go around. And I got a chart specifically for that. It's current circulating supply per current holder. So after big payday, we were here, right? It's like 2.8 million hex per holder at the time, right? And now let's look at what the holders are doing, right? The current holders are stabilized now. You had a bunch of little wallets disappearing over time, da da da, and now it's flatline. Now it's just staying steady at that value. So from here, we have a solid base, a solid foundation for who's in the system and who's not.
Hmm.
Right? And that's what this orange line is showing. Is current versus total holders. Now the stakers versus the current holders is the yellow line, and it's been seeing highs, 26.41%, and it's been there for a while now. It was lower than that previous, and it's been at the highs for a while now. So this is good, right? And we got stakers leaving, which is good, right? But not in great numbers. So this is a way to look at current versus total stakers. So people that are staking one time and staying. Right, this is what this gray line is showing us. So basically, 4 out of
Hmm.
5 stakers stick around.
Yep.
So some people like staking, some people do not. Most do. That's it. That's what this number is saying, right? And
Well,
this is
and it's the people that do it right,
right,
right? Like you're locked in. If you're doing these like short stakes and like fiddling around with the system, you're playing with your emotions because you don't know how you're going to handle it. And even if you did hold for a year and you saw like crazy gains, like you're not going to stake out millions of dollars, 15 years probably, if
right,
you've never been a millionaire before. So the whole point is to like think ahead and use the system correctly
right. And that's
to
the whole
to
point, right?
protect you from yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Because what if some whale just comes in and dumps millions of dollars in it because they're tired of waiting? Like people don't understand how markets work, right? The centralized
Hmm.
market doesn't need anybody to do anything. It just needs buyers and sellers, and that's it. Right? So we've gone from a point where you had people in Hex that didn't want to be in Hex. They've been getting out this whole time, and now they're out. Right? So now the
Yeah.
people that are getting out are people that literally don't want to be in here and they want to sell, which is fine because clearly, since the beginning of this sell-off, what's been happening? Well, the supply has been disappearing. That's what's been happening.
Yep.
Simple. And we're getting to a point where we're encroaching on the 2 million level. What happens when we get to 1 million and the hex just isn't there, or we just
what?
spike down to 1 million? Like, you just don't know what's
So
gonna happen.
the average holder has 2 million hex.
So right now, let's see.
Can you say that?
Hold on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's 269,000 current holders, right?
Yeah.
Of those current holders, the circulating supply is 2.19 million. 2.129 million. That's
But
what
it's
it's
not staked.
That's not staked. Yeah, that's
Ah,
circulating
okay,
supply.
Gotcha.
What's staked? Let's show you what's staked. Staked hex per staker is this number: 873,000 divided by 900, or 873,000. Well, 874 basically.
So can you add that up to the other one and then have the average amount of hex per holder?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it gets close to 3 million.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
that's staked plus circulating staked supply, or stake supply plus circulating supply. That's what that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'd be an ugly ass title, but yeah, sure.
You don't need to make the title. It's just for my head, for my
Gotcha,
beard.
gotcha. Yeah, but it wouldn't look like that. It would look weird. But
The beard has needs, man. Sometimes.
sure,
Yeah,
I gotcha.
sometimes you
I
can't
got you,
control
brother.
it.
Of course, I understand, sir. So the payout in hex terms per staker is now down to 894, basically 95, right? So right around there. But at one time, it was over 2,000 hex per staker, right? So there's just less hex being able to be claimed all around. So there's less to go around, right? Which by default is going to make T-shares more expensive because that's the thing that pays you in hex terms. Simple, right? And this is why we get to this point, right? Now, I got other charts that explain why there's a premium for hex, right? Because you got to get money somehow, and this is the easiest way, right? And this is the chart that shows you with the forward T-share rate. Now, the T-share is literally the dollar cost of a T-share divided by the dollar cost of 10,000 hex, which gives you this blue value, right? So let's do that. 3446.8 divided by 1750.47, I think is the value. Yeah, then you multiply that by the starting rate, T-share rate for hex, right? Multiply by that T-share rate, and it's going to be 19,690. When you round up, it's going to be 1691, 19,691, right? Which is what we get. And this is a real-time T-share rate. That's all it is, right? So the market is demanding you pay extra for that T-share. If you buy that hex and stake it now, that's what you just paid, because that's what the market was charging at that time. Whether you see it or not doesn't matter, because the system is only requesting that. But you paid for that hex to be that expensive because the market demanded that premium for you. That's the difference, right? Because this is from what I'm getting from the system. So at whenever the crossover happens, that's the values that the system is generating. So that's real time. That's what's being tracked there. And this is the premium the market is charging, 126 hex when you stake it. And that's all. That's all it's saying. No more, no less. Does that make sense?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around, but also.
So the blue line is a real-time T-share cost. Like, this is the value the system is giving you.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's what I'm tracking there. That's the value system. That's like when you go to go.hex.com, this
that's
is
what
what
it
it's at.
says.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah.
This is real time when you take the value of a T-share and the cost of 10,000 hex, which is what generates this number.
Okay.
Got it?
Barely,
This
but
number comes from that. See? The cost of a T-share.
yeah, but what does the 10K to do with it?
That's the starting T-share rate. So
Yeah.
you only get a rate from that number, right? Otherwise, watch. Otherwise, I could just go like this, divided by the price of X, 1.75047, I think is what it was. And you get the same number.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See, this is just the right way to do it by the book. That's by the book because the
Yeah.
T-share rate,
Okay.
yeah, the T-share rate is 10,000 to start. The rate comes from taking the dollar cost of a T-share and the dollar cost of 10,000 hex. That's all. That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But we could take a shortcut if you want. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Square.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
And that's where that comes from. And that's it. So it's actually simple. You know, it's just wrapping your head around each of the elements that make it. That's hard to see. Right. So let's talk about little bits of hex because I see somebody asking a question here, right?
What question?
Actually, no, they were asking if they should buy 17.9. So look, when you buy is up to you, but it's always a good time to buy. So yeah, that's the answer. And
That's
the
basically what the
number,
math says.
yeah, the number of
Just look
shares
at
you
the
get.
P.
Go ahead.
Just look at the PE chart, and then ask yourself: it's a good time to buy. Is it a good time to buy $1 with 17 cents?
Pretty much.
That's basically the question that you're asking right now. Like, is it a good idea to get $1 for 17 cents? Well, I would think so.
It might be a good idea. Might be a good idea, sure. I mean, that's the funny thing, right? Here's a system that shows you what it does on a daily basis, and people still question it.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
true.
It is so funny, man. I don't get
Most
it.
data points in crypto.
Yeah. Most data points in crypto, and people still question it. Like anybody over here is hiding anything. Like, yo, here you go. This is what it's doing. You're welcome. Like, yo, people are questioning what to do. Like, yo, I'm showing you what it's doing. What are you asking me what to do? Like, that's it. You don't need to ask me
Mm-hmm.
anything. You decide what to do. I don't need to answer you what you need to be doing. I showed you what it's doing. It's up to you to decide if you want some or not.
Yo, the whole market is down. Just watched it.
Yep.
Bitcoin is at 54 now. Just makes me laugh, man.
Yeah, well, it
Like,
was
look at
coming,
the
man.
candle.
I talked about this 2 weeks ago. It was coming, bro. Like,
Look, it's dropping through that volume belly.
yeah. If it breaks this 52,000, 53,000 level, it's not good news.
No, it's gonna go to 50 then, I guess.
It's gonna go to at least here.
48, something like
It
that.
should hit at least here, actually. Assuming it doesn't get snatched up at 49.50, it'll hit 48 and change.
Yeah,
But
that's
it'll
what I
be
was
dependent on
thinking too.
yeah, it'll be dependent on what the market wants.
Yeah,
So,
the general market, like even stocks are freaked out about that whole like South Africa variant, you know.
yeah, that's the
Really?
headline,
Bullshit.
but
Really?
not really. No,
Mm-hmm.
There's
no,
no way, man. That's
they're
just a
just
narrative.
selling, bro. They're just selling. That's just narrative. The
It's always
market doesn't
narrative,
actually.
man.
Yeah,
It's
the
always
market
a
doesn't
strong
actually.
story.
No. I know, but people look for that for sure.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, of course they're gonna
Yeah.
look for it. Hell yeah. Yeah. No, nobody's disagreeing there. No, but
Everyone,
that's not the why.
everyone's
Is
got to
what I'm
have
saying.
a no. It never
Yeah.
is, but people got to have a narrative to pay it.
Yeah. So let's talk about this $10 target. So when I
Start.
started, what really happened was I was on Crypto Sparbuck and we were talking and I was explaining how good Hex was. Right. That's what I was doing. Right? And I was explaining that this shit could even see $10. Like people weren't understanding me. Like they weren't getting where I was coming from, and I didn't understand why. And it was because people didn't have this whole point of view that I did. So I had to give it to them and explain to them why I was seeing what I was seeing, and that's what I endeavored to do after that point. And yeah, 2021 seeing 10 was crazy, right? Like that was a crazy ass call, no doubt. But we've seen crazier things in crypto, and that was my point, right? My
True.
point was like, why not? Because this actually does something. People just don't know it
Yeah.
exists.
This actually
That's
does
all.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing else does anything. What is outside of what the software supposedly does? What does the coin itself do? Nothing. All you can do is send, receive, buy, sell, transfer. And I already mentioned transfer, so whatever. That's all you can do. So explain to me, what am I missing?
Yep.
Right?
And like something to note is that like it's going to hit $10. So
yeah.
DCAing in and buying and staking and earning more interest in something that's also the interest is also going to go to $10 is a
Yeah.
no-brainer.
Right.
Like, so whether it happens, next year, the year after, whenever, like, it's going to happen. Like, the metrics in the system are too good, and it's going to keep going that way. And we know what we hold, so we know where it's going.
So
And
check this
if
out,
you know what you hold, then you're going to reap the benefits.
because I haven't said this number in a while, and I'm glad you started talking, saying the things you were saying, because it made me remember. And what I did was I took the doubling rate, right, which is 64 days, and I divided it by 365. I divided the annual day rate, right, the annual number of days, 365 by that 64. And what I got was clearly the t-share payout. But what this number is also signifying is how many times we're going to double in a year.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So if at this point we're 2 months away, which is 21 months, or 3 months away, excuse me, from Hex being 2 years, we did this in 21 months. Every 49 days we doubled. So imagine how many doubles we're going to see by year 3, right? So we've done 21 doubles already. Or we doubled every 21 months since inception, since the start. Or every 49 days, excuse me. What the hell am I saying? Jeez, sorry. Every 49 days, right? Versus every 64, which is every 2 months. So we're actually doing it in a week, 2 weeks less time, right? So if we sustain that rate, where are we going to be a year from now? That's 52 weeks from now. So in 5.7 days, we can presume we're going to double at least 5.7 times from here, right? That's a minimum, right? So what does that look like? Well, let's just multiply it by 0.17 or 0.18, whatever the price
Well,
is.
shouldn't it be doubles from the top?
Yeah, that's doubles. That's doubles, right?
Yeah, but now you're putting it doubles from 18 cents, but shouldn't it
Yeah,
be
yeah,
the
yeah.
doubles
But
from the
hold
top?
on, bro. Hold on,
Oh,
hold on.
sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Because you got to remember, the price has to start somewhere,
Yeah.
right? And all we're doing is really grabbing a replication, right? Because yeah, the price already did this. This already did this. So all we're doing is saying, yo, it's just gonna do it again. That's all we're doing, right? So if we're tracking it from 46 cents, right, and we're at 18 and we're saying the buck, it's gonna clearly go to a buck 85. That's really the next move, and we're just taking it from here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just $1, right? $1 is a minimum move because again, it's just a range, bro. It's just really a range. That's all
Sure.
we're getting because we're taking that base rate, which I got from this number,
Mm-hmm.
which came from the fact that we get that we get point whatever. What was it? Okay, I'm drawing a blank. What's the t-shirt rate again? Or not the t-shirt rate? How quickly we double? It's the payout t-shirt, yeah. 1 divided by 5.84, right? Or that was the latest number. Let's just do a general number and a 17.2, and we multiply that by 365. And then we get that number, which is, I just rounded up and made it 63, right? Let's say it's 63, right? And all I'm doing is I'm taking, all right, well, how many doubles are we getting if that's what the system's doing in a year? That's all I did. So I did 365 divided by, oh, wrong number. 365 divided by
63.
63. Yeah, give me a second because I was just.
Now you're doing times.
Sorry. About 63, right? And we got 5.79, whatever, which is just going to be the same thing as a payout because all I'm doing is flipping. And that's the whole point, right? All I'm really doing is flipping. And we went from that to this. Just flipped it. That's all. So that's letting us know how many times we're going to double in a year, right? So if we're at 18, we're going to go to 36, right? Then we're going to go to 36 times 2. Was that 64, right? Then 128. Then 128 is what? 312. Is that right? No, that's not right. 356.
No, you
Whatever
did
that number is.
36 times 2, 72.
Oh, 72.
72, and then
Right. Then 72 times 2 is 128. Right? Then 128 times 2, whatever that is. Right. 256 times 2,
No, it's
right? Times
144.
2, right? Wait,
It
what?
doesn't matter.
It's with doubling. We're talking about doubles,
Yeah.
right? So
But
we're going from
it's 72 times
18, right?
yeah, 72, and then
Yeah,
144. That's
buck
what I said.
44, 238. Yeah, my bad. 12, 11, whatever.
You
Right, but
gotta
this
get
is
your math right, Wells.
yeah. But we're talking about from a
I'm
perspective,
joking.
right? No. You're good, man. You're good. I know you're joking. I'm not taking this seriously. Relax. So $23, right? This is basically going out that far. So if we're looking at it from this point, right? Let's say we're tracking it from that point. From that point, then you would track it for, like you're saying, which is from
Yeah.
46 cents, right? And then we already got that laid out, right? So that was supposed to be November 12th. That's what this date was supposed to be, the longest
Yeah.
range from that point in time. But it clearly went past that. So this number is going to be plus 64, whatever that day be, is going to be like the end of December, right? So from here to the end of December, we could still see 93 cents, right? Clearly. But we could clearly pass that and go straight to a buck 85. There's no telling. We can go to a buck 40,
Yeah.
right? We could just be in there somewhere,
True.
right? Because again, this is just an average, right? And over time, we could just eventually go over, under,
Yeah, exactly.
right? And people got to
It's like the
understand that.
tree.
Yeah. People got to understand that it's just an average, right? This isn't really a definitive, playbook. Like if
Yeah.
I had that, wow, right? But that's not how it's going.
Not how life works.
Yeah, it's not how
As
life
long as
works.
you know the range.
Especially
and how
when
to act.
when an asset like consolidates for a long time, like don't expect it to just stop at a double.
Yeah.
That's the last thing it's doing. It's just reloading,
Mm-hmm.
literally, right? So 93 cents should happen by the end of September or December, according to this chart, right? Whether it will or not, who knows? But that's what it's supposed to do. Then Q1 supposed to be that, Q2 supposed to be this, Q3 supposed to be that, right? Like it's just a base measure, right? But in reality, we've been doing this blue line. So if we stick to this line, we should fall somewhere on this line at some point in the near future, right? Like this is a quarter from now. This is 49 days, not even a quarter.
Yeah.
It's half a quarter.
There's this one comment right now from a guy named Alex. I hope I'm wrong, but the way price has been suppressed, how likely is new money gonna come in if whales keep selling? Bro, have you even looked at STAKER.APP? Have you even looked at how many buys
Don't
there are
speak for me, Alex.
and how many
Yeah,
and how
that's
many sales there are? Like every single day there are at least double and most of the time triple the amount of buys than
it's like I
sales.
didn't show this chart.
Like this, I hope you haven't watched this whole stream yet and you're gonna watch it back. But if you still don't get this, watch this stream 5 times and then maybe you get it.
I mean, the supply is literally disappearing before our eyes
It
during a dip.
is.
During a dip.
Like
And
people
I can
always
tell you,
focus
I know
on
personally some of the largest whales in the system, like top 10. And I can tell you these guys are even more obsessed with Hex than I am. And like they don't want to sell
yeah,
any
but
to you.
but also it
So
doesn't even
you'll
matter.
be so lucky if they dump.
People are
Right.
always so focused on what whales are doing, but dude, look at this product. Just look at it. It's all you need. You don't need to know what whales are doing. You don't need it to know if price is suppressed or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're paying 17 cents for $1. It's literally what you're doing mathematically.
Yeah, literally.
So
And to
what?
answer this
You
question,
also can't ever become a whale if you're just worried about what other people are doing.
yeah, that's never gonna happen. Yeah. Yeah, so again, this is just an average, right? It doesn't really matter. It could be, it could not be. Who fucking knows? Doesn't actually matter. That's the point. The whole point is to understand what the system is actually doing. There's a reason I never did that chart. I just did it the other day just for fun. Literally doesn't matter. That's why it's at the end. And it doesn't really take any precedence because it literally doesn't matter. Right? This chart is more important than that one. If you want to understand the name of the game and what the name of the game is, the name of the game is winning. It is not looking at some stupid funky chart thinking it's going to get you paid. That's not how this fucking game works. So if you don't understand that, do. Because that is what's going to lead success. not throwing some dumbass comment in my chat thinking it's going to change anything. Because that chart, again, is not anything but an average. It's just measuring an average that's already happened. That is all. So this chart is letting you know what the system is currently going through, right? So is this chart, right? Like, this is what's actually happening in the supply. It's disappearing, man. So you sleep on your laurels if you want to. You're going to get left behind. And you're going to wish
dude,
you were seeing these doubles.
by the way, we're getting a copy of this.
Yeah, that's the whole point. This is just X. This isn't
I
even
keep
the
on
copy.
forgetting, man.
Yeah,
I keep on forgetting.
yeah, yeah. That's all, right? Like, you got to understand, this is just an average. This is what it's done. Now, why wouldn't you want to own something that's worked this well? I don't know, because nothing I've ever seen has. And that's the point of me showing this chart. It's not really anything else, right? This is the fruit. This is what's going to keep you alive. This is what's going to keep you in the game. Understanding what's actually going on the blockchain. It's not no promises, no bullshit. This is what's actually happening on the blockchain. This is what I talk about. I don't know if that's, confusing to people. Right? So I'm literally talking about what's happening on the blockchain. Current stakers is up. Current holders is up. Everything is up for Hex. Supply is down. Staker count versus the holder count is up.
The metrics are just so good. I every time I'm just like, I don't understand like how people don't get it. But
And if you
we'll
look at
keep
this,
coming here every day if we have to.
Yeah, well, clearly, I mean, that's what I've been doing. I'm not even trying. This is insane.
crypto journeyman, you messed up on this name, man. It's if you're dumb, buy only one.
Yeah, you forgot the only.
Only, man. It's important. People forget, but it's important.
It's so
But
funny.
also, by the way, if you look at this this entirety of this price chart, it's also up.
Yeah, it only goes in one
Everything is
direction.
up.
Right?
It's all
Like,
up.
how crazy is that? During one of the biggest supply shocks.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Look at this. This ain't normal. That's insane. Right? So, I'm really trying to help people understand what's going on here. I'm just purveying the information that's on the blockchain. That's literally all I'm doing. Ain't nobody doing nothing fancy here. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, man. If anybody doesn't have any questions, we can wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm pretty done.
Yeah, I mean, this was a good one. I'm glad I went over it. I hope people
man.
understand the system a lot better. And they are feeling more confident in their bag because they got a good one, right? And that's my point, is to help people understand that.
And to all the plebs in chat, I dare you to call us furus again.
Oh,
We
yeah,
will make another stream of it.
Yeah, that was wild disrespectful. Like, you should really just know better, because ain't nobody here selling you nothing, man. Chill. This is that thing, bro. This is that thing. This is crazy. So, U.S. road trip. You got Boston coming up tomorrow, 27th. You got the party in New York on the 2nd. And then you got Lancaster on Friday, the 3rd. And then you have Philly on the 4th. So those are the 4 upcoming dates.
Jam-packed.
Jam-packed. So if you're in those respective areas, be sure to attend. Show support to the team. They're doing a great job. Albany was phenomenal. We had standing room only. Make sure you show up, show support, answer questions to those noobs that don't even know what crypto is. I mean, you'd be surprised how early we are and how well knowledgeable you are as an individual.
Yep.
It's crazy. Go to the U.S. road trip in Telegram. I don't actually know where. I just know I'm going to be there. So just show up. I don't know. Let's see if we got capsulated stakes coming in the future. There's no point in taking less about. So again, I don't know. But it seems like a lot of people will use it. I mean, the reality is you could literally make your own encapsulated stakes. You don't got to do that. You just got to stake.
Also, it could be kind of risky if you're planning on later on having that option to opt out, because when encapsulated stake system launches, you don't know exactly if that also applies to all the older 5555 or
I don't think it does.
I don't think
think
it
it has to
does.
be
I
no.
don't think it
renewal.
does. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be all new ones.
Yeah, so that's kind of sketchy if you do it now with the idea that you're going to do that. Thanks, Crypto Journeyman. Thanks for your support in chat, man. You've called us so many names.
Yeah, it's
We're
pretty good.
only one. It's good
He's
shit.
pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Now we've got Melf Tony giving us price updates, and then we got Crypto Journeyman giving us name updates. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we got a great chat, man. We got a great chat. We really do. You know, I don't. Let's see. Man, I really suck at watching the chat. I should have a lot more mods that I don't actually have, but it's all right. We'll get to that one day.
Hey, you want to play the new video as the outro?
Yeah. Let me just answer this question. According to my opinion, Hex will reach 1,000 in 2025. I think Hex is gonna really show us what's possible and really correctifies people's thinking process in terms of what is possible or what is impossible, right? And the reason for that is simply because it's designed to do one thing, and that's literally double. Like, I don't think people can appreciate the fact that there's like things don't just double like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not normal, right? Like, you guys got to really understand that's not normal. So, right, like, and another thing, you cannot take a single fiat anywhere in the world and get this kind of return without any effort. Fact, not opinion. So, again, understand what you own, and your pocket will take care of you.
And as D Money says in chat, everybody done told you.
Everybody done told you.
Mm-hmm. Multiple
So
times.
we will leave with that one, and please never share or expose your seed phrase and private keys. Thank you.
Oh, I was going to say one thing.
Go ahead,
Hex Merch is running a 15% Black Friday discount. So if
Shout
you're
out to
planning
Hex
on getting
Merch, man.
some, yeah,
Oh,
if you're
sick.
planning on getting some Hex Merch, go check out the site hexmerch.com and use the discount. I think it's good till like midnight. So
nice. Yeah, every time I go
over
on that site.
$75. Got to be over $75.
Gotcha. Every time I go on that site, I spend over $100. So
yeah, there's new shit there's literally like new shit like every day.
I'm a fan, bro. I'm always like spending money on there. It's crazy.
All that guy does is implement new
alone.
products. That's dope.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope I cleared up, what's going on in Hex, make you guys understand a little bit better. I don't think they're going to Buffalo, guys. Go to their Telegram, US Road Trip. That's where you find the information, or you go to freedom.info.tv. Or is it TV? Yeah, is it? Damn it, I can't remember the fucking website. Hold on, I think it's freedomtv.info.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah, let me just make sure. It's just the TV and the info throw me off. Yeah, it is tv.info. Good. All right, so let me throw it in the chat. So for the updates on the actual road tour stops, check out that website, please. They're the ones that are really running the show. And they're the ones really supporting the guys, Crypto Sparbuck, and helping them getting it done. So give them a shout out, show them respect. They're gonna be in New York City, of course. And the next stop is Boston, then New York, then Lancaster, then Philly, and I think it's DC after that. So you guys check out the site, be on the lookout, and show support for what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve. Right? It's all our mission to change the world. It's not one individual person's. So please respect yourself and respect your pocket. Whales out.
Done told you.
Done told you. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Trust
that.
us. 100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all deep. Everybody.